What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 250 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast.
Ooh.
What's the name of that? You know what I mean? Like the quarter to 1,000. Is that like a fun
I know. Let's just say it's been a quarter century.
The millennial,
the quarter century.
the quarter century episode of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
Hadouken!
Oh my God! I did not expect that at all.
I didn't either.
Whoa, that was crazy. We got the former Imran Khan.
Sure, you can.
There you go. You got to do the
What do I say? Like,
that was the
should I uppercut
laziest looking
Fran?
one.
Yeah, uppercut him. He got it. We can take
What?
it. He works out.
Well, it's not my jaw.
You should be
We
working
have
under John Moore. I feel
The best hair in the business, Fran Mirabella III, a.k.a. FM3.
Yoga fired.
There, I didn't like
See,
that
if I
one.
did that, it would have been racist.
I wanted you to do the spinning kick, the little like.
Oh, I see. I don't know that whole word.
No one does.
Pizzarican.
Yeah, it's like,
Something like that. I don't know. There's
when you look at how that word is spelled, and then you hear what they say.
Never seen it spelled.
Really?
Let's look it up.
I'm not a Street Fighter
Well,
kid. I
you
don't
know,
know.
you can
Didn't
continue.
you
I'll
straight
look
up
it
say burning
Like it
or
starts with a
spinning
T.
bird kick?
The spinning bird kick.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Do
that.
they just say like
Are you
English?
talking about the Tatsumaki Senpaku?
Oh. Is that what they say? Is it just Tatsumaki?
Tatsumaki is the slower one, and the Senpaku is the super version.
Oh, that they say that whole thing?
I don't know, but it doesn't sound like it.
Tatsumaki Senpukyaku.
For the super version, they say Tatsumaki Senpaku.
Okay.
Damn, Imran.
He's smart.
It's a long.
You're really impressive.
I definitely did
I'm
not
happy
know
we
that
have you
at
here.
all.
World travel.
This is the Kind of Funny Gamescast each and every week right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. We get together, talk about video games, all things we love about them, all the predictions that we might have about their future. Greg Miller confused me for a second. Yeah, it is too hot. Why is it so hot? It's so
I
cold
think
outside.
It's very nice in here.
You go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames to get this show early, to watch it live with us, to get the exclusive pre and post shows. Today on our pre-show, we watched the most video game hype trailer of all time. And my nipples are still extremely hard.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's why he's got the coat
on the Andy
We
scale.
watched some classic Jackie T
Could
too.
cut
We
through
did
a
watch
window.
Jackie T, man. Imagine Dragons, never forget.
Welcome to the new age.
Shout out to our Patreon producers for this month, Fantasy Critic Games and James Hastings.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
But if you don't want to support us financially, that's cool. You can support us just by watching or listening on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, or on your favorite podcast service. Just search for Kind of Funny Gamescast. And again, thank you very much to everybody that's listening to us on Spotify. The end of the year thing going around.
That
of
was
like,
awesome.
2019 wrapped.
yeah, and we're like Kind of funny all across a lot of people's stuff. So
Very,
thank you,
very cool.
thank you very much for all of that. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty good.
man.
End of the year rush for video game. Like playing all the stuff I missed over the last year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
What
that time.
are you playing right now? Leading into that.
It is a combination juggling of Disco Elysium, which is really fucking good. Life is Strange 2,
Yeah.
really fucking good. Resident Evil 2, also really fucking good.
Oh, you haven't played that yet.
I've not played
That's
that yet.
right.
Because it's one of those things like, oh, I'm sure I'm going to like this. I just got pushed back, and now I'm like, oh, fuck, it's December. I should start playing this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing Life is Strange 2, 3, 4, and 5 this weekend for the spoiler cast next week for Gamescast. If you're a person sending questions, patreon.com/kindoffunnygames about we're gonna have the devs on, and then I keep seeing it, and it's like once I get this done, I think I'm gonna move to about Plague Tale Innocence. I haven't started that. I think it's a Greg Miller game, but I've had it forever. But it's the same thing of like I know I like that. When am I
Yeah.
gonna sit down and play it?
It's fantastic. What have you been playing, Fran?
I was wondering if you could ask me. I was worried. I'm just messing with you. One, I wanted to throw back your reaction. If you haven't played that, did you ever pick up Sekiro, Tim?
I play a little bit.
You did?
It's-
Okay.
Yeah, it's not for me. Again, it goes back to like those
I
type
know
of
you're not your type.
those
of game.
type of games. I need the Star Wars wrapper to like
It's
feel
so
like this is
good
worth it.
though. But yeah, I started playing it early in the year when it came out, actually. But it was just busy, you know, the Destiny, Division life,
grind.
Borderlands life now, all mixed together. It's hard to keep up. But went back to Sekiro, and it's just so good, man. Playing on PC, of course, beautiful experience. But I'm at the very end, I think.
Where are you?
And no spoilers, but you make a decision, and I got to tell you, I was streaming, and it was like super late, and I just made one of these decisions, and I was sort of like, huh. I didn't realize they weren't going to like really make sure you know
Who asked
this
you
is
to
a
make that
big
decision?
deal. I don't want to spoil it. Someone very important to the
The
wolf.
Grand Poobah of the Wolf.
Yeah, you're not anywhere close to the end.
Oh, really?
No,
Okay.
You've got a while to go.
All right, but it changes. Well, I can tell you this without spoiling. It changes a fight, right?
Yes.
And whatever the case, like while I was streaming, it did ask me twice. But throughout the game, you get asked stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like there's one NPC seemingly that if you don't keep asking it questions, you don't fight it, I guess. And so there's stuff like that that you just never you're like, whatever. I'm gonna select both things. In other words, of the dialogue tree.
Yeah, I had to do some cloud save scumming for that one. To
Yeah,
craft the
so long
other
story
half.
short, I actually would think I would have stuck with the decision, but I got a little salty where I was like, well, I've
No,
sunk, like,
one is actually the
65
correct decision. Like one leads to
I'll tell
like
you
another
afterward.
third of the game left. The
Yeah,
other one
see,
just ends the game there.
That's where I'm at, though, I think, as I understand it.
Okay, yeah.
I picked the bad boy choice.
Oh, bad
think.
boy Fran.
Oh man, the Twitch is bad boy.
So anyway, that, and I also want to shout out, I've been to looking for like a mobile game to play. I mentioned to you guys, I don't know if you guys tried Mosaic at all on your way to...
I did a little bit.
Europe.
It was a little too slow for
yeah,
what
you
I
have
was
to-
looking for.
Did you get past the very beginning? This is an Apple Arcade
I didn't get too
game.
far. I think I
you
played
literally
maybe
like wake up in
20
your bed
minutes.
and it's like you look at your phone sleepily and like it's kind of a really cool, interesting experience. If you have Apple Arcade, I check it out. And then I wanted something faster than that though, and I just started trying a Card of Darkness, which I guess came out the first month maybe. But if you haven't tried that, Card of Darkness is pretty cool. It's not like a Hearthstone type game, but it's a little like Grindstone actually. So if you
really?
like Grindstone, you might like
do.
it. It's literally going to the end of this path, but using cards. And anyway, so that's what I've
This
been up
isn't-
to.
What? Tell me more. It's not Where's Cards Fall, right? That's
No,
the
it's
thing.
called
Okay.
Card of Darkness, and
Man,
you
Apple Arcade
basically
flush with card
all
games.
the cards on there are numbered, and you're doing a little math as you go through. I mean,
Oh,
it's
nope,
not
done,
intense.
I'm out. See
It's
ya.
not intense.
I
It's
don't
literally-
care.
It's even and odd number stuff, and how much energy you're losing. But I would recommend it. It's pretty cool.
All right. Every week, you can go to kindoffunny.com/gamescast. You're wrong to let us know what we get wrong, and we will correct it in the following episode.
Oh yeah, we didn't do that last week.
It's cool. We
totally
didn't
forgot.
get too much. So the last 2 weeks are here. Rune2215 says, you can change the difficulty in Death Stranding from one back to the other. I started on normal, switched to hard to do some premium deliveries, then back to normal, and now I'm back on hard. You just have to reload the most recent save to switch.
You weren't here last week.
And then Maxwell Broom writes in and says, my apologies to Fran for calling him out on Death Stranding. Difficulty changes without fact-checking. First, I should have done my research before submitting. I respect you, Fran. PC for life.
First of all, that's super nice. Second of all, you shouldn't have to apologize for that, but I want to bring up, that's what we go through all the time. Like, when you don't have time always to go back and research when you're doing something live, and I think he was watching live. He just quickly responded. And so,
And
you
now
know
it looks
how
like
we
a
do.
horse's ass.
Because if you wait the rest of the podcast, you're gonna forget to write in.
Exactly.
Speaking of horses, the nanobiologist writes in and says, Galarian Ponyta evolves into Galarian Rapidash, not whatever the hell Andy said. I just want to give Andy credit for using thoroughbred correctly. While it's not exactly the correct usage, it still fits. But the best description is Ponyta is a foal, and the Galarian Rapidash is a stallion or a mare for male/female gender, respectively.
Yeah. That is not information I will ever retain.
I was very confused by
Well, there you go. And then,
Good corrections.
DJD says, as an Xbox insider with my One X that I name Onyx, enrolled in Alpha Skip Ahead, I can confirm that the Xbox game streaming, where you use your console as a server similar to remote play, does exist and work now pretty decently, so you could play any game that you currently own. Some artifacting connection dependent, but Jedi Fallen Order was very playable. It uses the same Android app as xCloud and is available for any console enrolled in the update preview. So.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
I'm excited to do both, like both the server version and my Xbox version.
So that's some cool stuff. I want to get right into the big topic of the day. Game Awards predictions. We are so close. Next
Keeleys.
week, the Keeleys are occurring once again. I feel like the last couple of years, in my opinion, every year's just gotten better and better in terms of production, in terms of the categories and how things are handled, in terms of announcements
Pace.
made as well, and pace. All of it. I thought like we're close to it being like really, really, really dialed in.
Yeah, it's been
But I just kind of wanted to go through, like we always do, each of the different categories, go to the nominees, and each one of us take our bets on who we think the winner's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, because next week's episode, right, is the Life...
Next week's going to be the Greg Miller Life is Strange 2 spoiler cast.
Yeah.
So that's very, very exciting.
We should
stuff.
up the ante by also predicting what will get announced.
And so then that's going to be, after we go through all the nominees
It's the
and
bonus-
stuff,
bonus
that'll be the
round.
next thing is talking about all that stuff. Because like we know a lot. We'll get to that later though.
He gave us a number today.
Yeah, 10. It's a good number. Last year, there were a ton of shit. There was like 16 announcements. Some of them consequential. Some of them absolutely not. Let's get into the nominees though. Barrett, I'm going to actually send you this so people can visualize
Yeah, please.
as well as we go. You can go to thegameawards.com/nominees to also be able to see all of this. Of course, Slack has to be really slow right now. And boom. Assets. There you go. So I think we should just start with the big one.
Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Or
because
esports
with the
team.
show.
of
because the
year.
reason I want to do that is I feel like the Game Awards, more so than I think most of the other award shows, because of how voting goes, kind of does have that thing of like, well, we're going to vote this Game of the Year, which means we're going to vote some of the genre-specific ones
the other way.
something
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
right? I keep saying this in just private conversations, but like I
Really
feel like
shouldn't
this is the most interesting Game of the Year of conversations we've ever had.
Because there's no like one.
Because usually it's between this or this.
Right. It was either God of War or I forget what the other choice
Red Dead.
was.
Red
2,
Dead.
Right?
Oh, yeah, it was
or the year
sort of
before,
obvious.
it's like, okay, cool. Is it Horizon or
Zelda.
is it Zelda or Mario Odyssey? It's one of those three.
was Zelda.
Now it's just like
There's a lot of
every
great
time.
stuff on this list.
there's so many different things where I feel like anyone you talk to, like we were just at PlayStation's 25th anniversary party with a ton of GameSpot people, IGN people, and everyone we talked to had a different answer for what their Game of the Year is, and that's just I can't remember a time we've had it this varied.
What's our plan for Game of the Year for Gamescast?
We are going to. It's going to be the first one of the new year.
Okay.
So that will be whatever the January
It's almost
4th week that we come
January
back.
2nd.
Yeah.
It'll be the next week of that
That'll
Oh,
go
the
that
one
Monday.
after that.
when the
whatever.
Gamescast actually goes out. Yeah. So that's exciting stuff. But starting up here. Here we go. Game of the Year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. We have Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Smash Bros. Ultimate, The Outer Worlds, and that's it.
And for clarity as well, I believe, Greg, you may know this, the critical vote versus the user votes. Are user votes like 10%?
10%, the rest 90%,
90%
critics,
critical,
10% fan.
and then 10% fan can sway, technically.
Sure. Swing vote, we call them.
Exactly. The swing vote.
They put their keys in the bowl.
In the swing
the
states.
old swing vote.
Thanks, Greg.
No problem. So again, to be clear, Timothy Gettys.
Yes.
Timothy Robert
Robert
Gettys.
Gettys.
Last four of your social. No.
Mm-hmm.
We are not saying our Game of the Year here.
No.
This is always the argument. We're making our prediction individually of what will win these categories.
Yes.
Yeah, these are not our favorites, to be clear.
Well, I
I'm
want to get
glad
out
you
ahead because when I pick
100%.
whatever I pick, and then I
always
say this
happens.
is going to be my thing, everybody's going to
Of
yell
course
at me.
Greg would
and I
pick
go,
that 'cause-
why? And I have to tell them why.
Yeah, do we know who the critics are? We don't really.
Yeah, you do.
We do.
There's
a
on the
list
Game
of-
Awards.
There's a
190
giant
outlets?
list
I'm going to double check that because
on the About.
that's what we're doing. Is the point. We're profiling
Fran,
a little
it's
bit.
there's a
Everybody.
lot
It's all the usual
of people
suspects.
across the world
Yeah.
that you can see who's on advisory here.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
So, who wants to throw it out?
God, it's
Do you want to go game by game? Do we think this is going to be it, or
I think we put out our predictions, right? Like
Yeah. Each one of us
Imran,
throws-
when you look at that list, what is going to be the Game Awards 2019 Game of the Year?
I think Resident Evil 2 is the best consensus candidate
Me too.
because it was for a game in January to still get. I think I know why Smash Brothers is on that list is because they mentioned it in the nomination email. Like, by the way, Smash Brothers is also nominated, so people are like, oh right, Smash Brothers.
It's eligible.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's because it came out after the
Yep.
Game Awards
Right.
last
Like
year.
Fallen
Yeah,
Order
yeah.
will
but
go.
sucks.
that's why it ended up on this list. It was because people remembered that it existed.
And I think that's the nice tip of the hat of, hey,
We don't want to overlook you.
Yeah.
Well, you had a bad slot last time. Here you go. You're nominated, but will people vote for that? No,
Not
because we
a
all think it
chance.
needs to be a 2019 game in your head.
Right. I think Resident Evil 2 is the one that people remember as like, oh, I remember playing this in January and it was really fucking good. So when we get to, if we think about a January game now in, what was this, October was when the nominations were done?
Yes.
Or
no, the
November
first
15th, yeah.
Friday of November we sent them in.
So that, I think that was them going like, this is the game that we actually genuinely believe is the game of the year.
Here's the thing. I think it's awesome for this discussion because we honestly could do the entire podcast about Game of the Year nominees right here. Because I think that's true. Resident Evil's on that list, but I do think in a where the margins are this small between games, right? Of who's going to vote which way. I wonder for Resident Evil 2 how much of it just being a remake hurts it.
I mean,
Where
I
it-
think a lot. And I
it-
think,
where it
I
is,
think
like,
that
yeah,
gives
it's-
Outer Worlds a bit of a pump up.
It totally does. That was exactly my thought on Resident Evil. Is like, it's great, but not only is it 12 months old, but it is a remake, and so some things were expected. It just did it so well. And
But that's my thing
newness-
is like, and for where this is taking my feelings about Resident Evil is like, it's not just a remake. Like, it is a totally different game that used the foundation of what Resident Evil 2 was. And I feel like a lot of people realize and respect that and like don't just see it as, oh, it's just a remake.
Totally.
But some
Yeah,
people
20
do.
years
of course you
old.
see it.
You're gonna lose
more
some
than a
votes 'cause of
remake.
that.
But yeah, I just mean it has a tinge of that, right? And there's no way around it. So I still think it's so fond to people. You could argue both sides, right? It's so fond to so many people after decades that it actually has strength over, newer franchises. But on the other side, it's like, well, it's Resident Evil 2, sort of. So it gets a bit of that. So, I mean, I absolutely think it's in the top, 3 or whatever.
Do we want to go over Game of the Year winners from previous years?
Sure.
Just to like give some idea.
That would help, actually, yeah.
2014 was Dragon Age Inquisition. 2015 was The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. 2016 was Overwatch. 2017 Breath of the Wild. 2018 God of War.
Solid list.
So with one exception, it's mostly been like third-person kind of action-adventure games.
They don't list any of the other nominees those years, do they?
Not
Handily.
on this list. I could probably
okay.
find it if I need to.
Yeah.
But
It's all right.
So looking at this, Death Stranding, I don't think is going to be it.
I agree. I don't think Death Stranding does it.
I think unless anything else, everything split the vote aside from it, I think Death Stranding is not that consensus candidate.
I think that's it. Death Stranding is too polarizing. Even if you love it and you're thinking of Game of the Year and you're an outlet and you have to vote and all these different things, you get to this point where you're deciding what is it going to be, how are we going to vote? I think it's too polarizing to get it there.
Right.
I think Death Stranding doesn't win because of what we just said. I think Super Smash Brothers doesn't win because of what we said already in this show. And then it gets interesting. Resident Evil 2, I think, the ones we're giving counter arguments for has a shot because it is an amazing game. Like, first off, all these games are amazing. We're not trying to take anything away from anybody. But now you're into the brass tacks. Outer Worlds, I think, did really well with critics. And I don't think it's done as well. It's done well. I don't think it's done as well as in the pool of people. The people I've talked to.
It's a little baffling it's on there, to be honest. I think maybe
as somebody who totally didn't love it, I am not baffled based on reviews, but I think it is also the fact that when you get there and you get these nominees in and you're voting for your site, you bring in the opinions of your critics and everybody else who've done it. And there are people who legitimately love it and think it's the best thing since sliced bread. I think that when you look at this list, I feel like that's the one that squeaked on the list. Yeah. Right? They're like, just made it by the skin of its teeth.
We talk about like recency bias with this sort of thing.
No, yeah, I do think there's a little of that, but I actually just think it scratched an itch for so many people.
I do too.
Of these critics.
I'm not taking shots at it and saying it's a bad game.
No.
I would put
we'll
that
never
one.
Do that during this.
That and Control to me are the two that I feel like people would want to vote for the most, just because they're new, they're different. They're not just sequels of things, right?
Yeah.
And with that, I feel like more people have played Outer Worlds than Control.
But I feel like
I go the opposite way.
If you think like different from things, then Death Stranding is like the number one choice.
Yeah,
but
it's too different. It's too different. It's too polarizing, I think. Honestly, when I look at it, right, like I feel on this list as we start going through it, Control has the best chance as being the outside. You didn't see it coming won't happen.
Yes,
because I agree that you Resident Evil 2, it's old. Smash Brothers, it's old. Death Stranding, it's too polarizing. Outer Worlds, X reviewer liked it, but 3 other people on staff think it's fine. Sekiro is a Souls game, so it's like that could get it. We know Souls games are great, whatever, but I don't think it made that inroad to everybody playing it and everybody digging it. Whereas Control, I do feel it's a brand new IP. It reviewed really well. Everybody's dug it. They've only done more to improve the stability of it, which was the biggest knock I think in reviews leading up to it, right? And so I think you get there and it is. It's hot. It's new. It did something different. It's Remedy. It already has this reputation, as Phil Spencer was talking about today this week when he said it's coming to Game Pass and it's not coming to Game Pass apparently.
That was weird.
Super weird. But he was like, it was a great game. It didn't get played enough. I do think there's that narrative behind it. Even Remedy's put out a statement this week being like, hey, like.
It made money.
It made money, and it didn't do gangbusters, but it did better than we're expecting, and we're happy with it and everything else. Like. Yeah. There's this underdog story to Control, and I think in a year where the vote is so split and so torn up that it has a shot, or a way better shot than usual.
I will say, just speaking of like regionality to this sort of thing, for the past 14, 15, 16, and 18, there has not been a Japanese game that has won. Mathematically, it is way more likely a Japanese game is going to win this one, because 4 of the 6 are Japanese. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So theoretically, like
4 of the 6 last
of the nominees.
Winners.
No, the nominees of the last winners.
Here.
The only one that's been Japanese has been Zelda.
Oh right, yeah.
So but Death Stranding, Smash, Resident Evil, and Sekiro are all Japanese. So if it's one of those, then it would buck the trend.
So what you two, I feel like, have more of a say on Sekiro. Do you think that it actually has a shot at this?
Not among outlets, no.
That's where I'm like, I don't know the profile and also the weight. I mean, do you guys did you guys vote at all or?
Yeah, I kind of funny voted.
I didn't.
So you voted.
Well,
Wait,
we
you
voted.
represent so a
As
company
us.
votes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're the judges are. I am a judge, not as Greg Miller. I'm a judge as kind of funny.
So you pooled.
Yeah.
Votes.
We put out I put out the
ballot.
ballot to everybody on Google Drive and was like, hey, do this.
Oh, interesting. And then, in other words, what I'm wondering is, what is the weight? What are the factors here? You know, like, is it innovation? Is it technical achievement?
And
the
that's
way
it.
that they
Whatever the
describe
outlet
it is
decides it.
all categories, but it says the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields.
Like, if we were still doing this at Game Informer, I would have been fighting for Fire Emblem because Fire Emblem is one of the best games on that list, or of the year. So, but
it's not
most
a
outlets
technical
didn't.
achievement
But most
necessarily.
outlets didn't think that. You know.
But
If
it's
we're
not a
going, like-
technical achievement, I wouldn't say. Gameplay design.
I wouldn't say Outer Worlds is a technical achievement either.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's
The
what
way
I'm asking,
the way Jeff describes it in his email, like he gives you
Yeah.
like a synopsis real quick, and I think there's
Yeah, no, I think it'd be helpful. Like, what is the description?
what
of
is
am
for
I
game
voting?
recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields.
Okay, that good.
It's
They put
basically-
that on the website, so he repeats it. That's what you get as well.
Jeff is dope and transparent. You know, he's
Perfect.
he's not like you, Frank.
But that is multiple things. It's vision as well as technical achievement.
And so that's the thing,
where
right?
if I was on this panel and let's say I really liked Outer Worlds, I'd be like, yeah, but it on the technical side, it needed work.
I always kind of dislike that thing, though. People who vote for Game of the Year as like objective Game of the Year versus just the game they like best.
yeah.
Me personally,
I do think those things are important. So, does it push the boundaries of the platform that it's on, and like all those things are a factor. I agree. It's kind of easy to be like, "What's your favorite thing?" But that, to me, I think that's.
But that's
sort
how we
of-
get the more interesting answers.
to say what's your favorite thing.
Yes.
I honestly think it's a little ignorant of like what goes into game
If
design.
someone's favorite game of the year is Luigi's Mansion 3, even though it did nothing different or didn't do a whole lot
fine.
different, I think that's interesting, more interesting than if
then
their
they
favorite
should
game of
call
the
it
year
that
is-
person's favorite game of the year, not game of the year.
Yeah, but if it's like
So-
the most people's
I don't being a
favorite game
snob
of the
about
year,
it.
then it is the game of the year, right?
That's
Yeah.
why I bring this up. What are the factors at play? So we're
Yeah.
we it seems like that's it. It is pretty much of an overview, but I hear technical awareness is important, and so that doesn't mean that let's say Fire Emblem came out on a more limited platform. Well, it did actually
Right.
Switch, but but meaning like if it pushed the Switch to its boundaries, right? You give it credit for that, and it achieves on the technical side. That doesn't mean that it's got to be as good as a RTX 2080 Ti game or whatever.
I
Right?
feel like looking at this list, though, I don't think any of these are the obvious answer, and that's what makes this fun.
Yeah, no,
Is
I
that
think
usually like that definition, it's like there are the clear answers where you're like, all right,
Right.
it has to be one of these.
But yeah, I bring it up because like when I look at Control, I'm like, man, like the physics stuff that game does
And that's
is
the thing, right?
incredible. It's really cool.
What is the complete package? And I think that's what for me with Game of the Year, where I do get into this all the time, and this is very much an old IGN mantra in my head of getting into it of like, what is Game of the Year and having these arguments. And I know I've said it a million times already this year, but to bring it up again. For me, I think my example is always Walking Dead versus Journey, where it was a heated conversation in Game of the Year. And I when it came out to me, I was like, listen, I reviewed Walking Dead. I love Walking Dead. I think Walking Dead's an amazing game this year. I think you have to vote Journey because for me, it's always the time capsule where if you woke up tomorrow or, you're a kid and you whatever, and you want to go back and play every game of the year from what, that you've missed, and you're picking these things up and it's like, this is the best our industry could do in that year. And like Walking Dead chugging and crashing and eating saves, I thought couldn't get that award, couldn't get that honor when there's a game like Journey that is also amazing. Again, we're between
exactly.
two A's here.
If we're
Exactly.
talking about complete package, then I think Smash Brothers is probably the
I know.
obvious answer there. But it's not going to be chosen by outlets because it's an old game that has been well
Yeah,
supported
but see,
by DLC.
but it's not in that sense. Like meaning it has amazing gameplay, but it didn't innovate in any way. So vision, innovation. I love Smash Brothers. It's amazing.
Then we end up back at Death Stranding.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is why I brought up. I think this is a very interesting discussion. It is how each
But
critic
it's-
tries to view all these facets.
And that's my thing
You
of
have to-
looking at this. I think of it like when you're playing an RPG, right? And you have like you're moving out in that like hexagon of like where you are, intelligence or strength
Yeah.
and all that jazz, right? I feel like it's what we're talking about. Where I think Death Stranding is too lopsided to being crazy and weird and, you know, whatever. I think Smash Brothers is awesome on the gameplay side, but, like, if you're not a fighting game person, right, is that the best package across all fields? Resident Evil 2, hampered by the fact that it's an older game, so it's there. Sekiro being a Souls game, so it's already, like, there's a bunch of people who just don't want that kind of pain in their life. Outer Worlds, I think, being not the full-fledged RPG, it originally seemed like, they, you know...
I would say the conversation's moved past Outer Worlds and like the gaming industry since it came out.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that is a snapshot in time. That nomination of that game just came out.
When we just played it, we started playing it. Yeah.
Like everyone got codes, everyone was playing around. Like, hey, how was your thing going?
And that's my thing where I felt like a crazy person where I was like, I didn't like it that much, and everybody's like giving it 9s and 10s, and I was like, fuck, I guess I'm just wrong on this one. And now I feel there's been this ripple of people who, even Mike, I think today we talked about it on Games Daily, right, where it was like. He'd only played a little bit, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. Well, I was talking to somebody recently who had only done a bit of it. Was like, yeah, it was fine. I stopped playing it though. You know what I mean? Like, and then for me to have gotten to the end and not liked it. Oh, I think it was Dan Reichert actually at dinner last night talking about the slideshow ending and all this stuff. Where you're just like, based on what we're saying, I'm picking Control. Picking being, I think Control's going to.
It's interesting you guys have that perspective. I feel like I have the opposite perspective where I still see people talking about the Outer Worlds, and. Yeah, I think that's an interesting take. I think the Outer Worlds is like a top contender, honestly, for the amount of people who are still talking about it, at least in the circles I run in.
Sure.
Yeah, my prediction is the winner of this is either Resident Evil 2 or Outer Worlds, but the one I'm choosing is Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
I will say I heard a number of people say when Outer Worlds came out that Disco Elysium ruined that game for them.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what they were talking about until I played Disco Elysium. Now I can totally see what they're talking about.
There was an interesting Reset Era thread this week, and it might have even just been yesterday, though, right? But like, when will Game of the Year ever not be just huge stuff? And one of the things that came up in the thread over and over again was Disco Elysium, and the fact that everybody I know who's played Disco Elysium is fucking obsessed and adores it. Like Lucy, when Lucy started playing it, man, she was like. She came out of her room like, dude, this thing is insane. And she just played it all weekend long and was so into it.
I had a conversation with my necktie about whether I'm too lazy to be a communist.
Yeah, see?
Like, that is how that game goes.
Yeah, exactly.
But to me, like, that's not... Best game of the year
I know.
and game of the year are just different things. And I know it's all just semantics, but it's like game of the year is like you need to include its appeal.
Yeah.
You need to include
I'm with you. Don't get me wrong.
Liking it despite the technical
I think
issues,
that's
even if
traditionally
there
the
are
way it goes, but I would love the idea. Like, I've tossed around this idea with Game Informer and like other places before, and nobody likes it. But the idea of a game of the year for a game that sold under 1 million copies. Like, I would love that thing of, let's talk about a thing that does not have mass appeal, but is the best game that doesn't have mass appeal.
But I don't know. I feel like Journey's the example where, like, I mean, that's a game of the year. It's not like it's like one of the most best-selling games of all time.
It sold really well.
In the end, after all the Game of the Year awards, probably. But meaning, I don't
it's a smaller
think,
game. It was a PSN game
words,
when PSN games weren't Game of the Years.
I don't think
But, like,
things are getting
Journey
overlooked.
didn't win this.
No, but I'm just bringing up, I don't think games are getting overlooked.
I think they
just
are.
because they're...
Hold on. Because, like, there's the Game of the Year category, and the next category on this list is Game of Best Direction or whatever. There's an indie game thing and a Subway Fresh indie game thing. We do separate these things out for no good reason.
That's true, though, but then, Greg, you'll know the answer to this. I mean, nothing stopped Disco Elysium from being nominated, right?
It would be the fact that, I mean, didn't
Not
enough
enough
people
people
play
played
it.
Yeah.
Right, but those are the judges. That's not the people
But,
at
like-
large. That's a judging.
But that's
call.
what we're
No,
talking
that's
about.
a larger conversation here.
But you're
is that-
assuming they didn't play it as well. You have no evidence of this. I get your point. I'm just saying you're assuming a lot to say because it's not a popular game, it's not making the list.
My evidence of it as being in
Those
that same
things happen.
thing is where you play the big hyped games that have the most
Totally.
marketing on it because you have to be involved in that conversation.
Right.
I
And
totally-
that's what leads to the Game of the Year nominations.
Totally, and now you're getting into the time that the judges have, which is
Oh, yeah, it's
another
all
issue.
bullshit.
Now, we could have a whole nother episode on what's wrong with how game awards are done between a bunch of judges, and like that's why I brought that up. It's very interesting. People aren't always clear on what the weight is on certain things.
Well, here's the argument, though.
So-
This is the way that it's done. So
Yeah, yeah,
because of that, it is not about all these other. It is literally about what is the game that defines what this year was.
Absolutely. I'm
not
just
what the
defending-
best game is.
Yeah.
Disco Elysium could have easily been on it, and for various reasons, it just didn't make it. And honestly, I think it's because there is so much clout at the top this year. It was easy. You're right. It was easy to play all these huge games.
I think we all just have mental separations of what makes a game of the year right now, and a lot of the times the like lower budget walk and talk games are not going to apply.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact Jack's lineup.
That falls into the thing saying I'm going back to of like when I think of Game of the Year and the best thing we did as an industry, right, or the industry did this year. It's that thing that I think Andy said so eloquently about Death Stranding, where if you like video games, you gotta play God of War. He wouldn't have been like, hey, you like video games? You gotta play Death Stranding. I would never be like, oh, you like video games? You gotta play Disco
If you don't like
Elysium.
video games, I suggest you play Death. Not like I mean that earnestly. Of like, if you're jaded about video games, like this might be a game you want to try and play.
And that's the thing is, I think when you get to games that have so many, well, if this then that, what do you think? How do you feel? And granted, that's every game regardless. But I mean, when you really get into the minutia of like a weird game, and you're like, wow. Do you like this? Do you like that? Blah, blah. Like, it's the same reason a horror game probably has never won Game of the Year. Well, like, we're talking about Resident Evil, right? And does that count? You know what I'm talking about? Like, Outlast, horror porn shit. You know what I mean?
But that's the point. I'm glad we brought it up. It's like, to illustrate it, you might love Pokemon this year, Sword and Shield, more than any other game by, like, a long shot, as a critic. And even as a user voting. But my point is, as critics, your job is to say, wait a second, though. I played all these other games, and you do have to apply some objectivity to it on top of just what is your favorite. That is, in my opinion, now that's how I look at it, what makes it difficult. Because it's not just saying, oh, this is my favorite game by far. Are you nuts? I love Tetris 99. It's amazing. I sunk 1,000 hours into it.
Fuck, Tetris 99.
Tetris 99 should have been on the Game of the Year list.
Totally. That's why I brought it up. But you see my point, right? It's very difficult. But it's what makes this list interesting. It is a lot of juggernauts, but they're also very different.
I disagree with you,
ways.
friend, just because if you take that a couple steps further, of like, if it is just you saying it's your favorite, then that one's not going to win. But if everyone's saying that it's their favorite, then that's great. Pokemon is ineligible for this because of dates and stuff. But even if it was, not every one of the critics would be like, Pokemon's my favorite, so I'm putting it here.
I think we're kind of veering towards the idea of the most expensive game wins best game, which is the thing I have a problem with.
No, I'm saying it's not that.
But that's usually the way it works.
Recognizing it does this the way they do it, right? Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. I'm just saying it's not just your favorite. Well, and that is important. I'm not. Disco Elysium could easily win.
Can you pull up last year's nominees?
I just think it's important to keep in mind. That's what we're looking at here.
Because I want to say Celeste was on that
list. If the judges do a good job.
I do believe it was.
Okay.
That is, so here, just as the example, to go through it real fast, right? If I'm trying to be as objective as possible and play all this, I didn't play Outer Worlds, but I know enough about it. I look at Control and I'm like, man, in addition to being a new IP, the physics engine's incredible, technically pretty good, but had some problem on consoles. The story was totally original, and actually I loved it, blah, blah. You get into Death Stranding, the gameplay wasn't for everybody, but if you loved it, it became addictive, and the vision was totally unique. We haven't seen a game like this in a long time, actually, and you got to give it credit for that. And you get where I'm going with this. So hopefully that's what everybody did, and that's why, frankly, hopefully Sekiro also has a very good chance. That game is super refined in the world of what they do, and I hope that has a chance to win in this conversation.
So right now I'm saying Control. Tim and Imran are saying Resident Evil 2. Franimal, where are you coming down?
Yeah, I was buying myself time that whole
I
time.
know. I understand. You're filibustering, hoping the show will end.
Yeah, still part of the scientific formula to figure out which of the does all the creative pursuits well.
I did. That's the conversation we always had though at IGN, right? In those rooms, everybody, we would do this for days or weeks sometimes. What is the criteria? So, honestly,
Which, by the way, I hated.
Yeah, no.
At IGN, I hated it. This conversation I'm really enjoying.
yeah,
I always love it. I feel like there is no objective answer
because
to
it's
what
not
this
our
should
game of
be
the year.
or what it is or whatever.
Well, it was
We're
pretty
not
clear
choosing our
last
game
year
of
was
the
God of War. It's pretty clear this year it should have been Jedi, but the fucking thing got all fucked up.
Honestly, of that list last year,
Thank
Monster
you.
Hunter World would have been my
Get
choice.
the fuck out of here. No,
So-
great game.
just quite frankly, for me, applying all those things, and that's what I was setting up. It actually is between Sekiro, Resident Evil, and Death Stranding.
Half the list, sure.
No, it's more than half, isn't it?
He's playing
Are there
Guess Who.
6
He's
nominees,
knocking it
actually?
down.
Oh, it is half the list, yeah. But that's what it's between for me.
Are you making note of this, Greg?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
God, look at that. Tim, you look
More
at
than
this.
anything,
damn,
though,
there
I'm
he
just
is.
narrowing it down live
There
for
he
you.
is.
This is the way I'm thinking about this. It comes down to Sekiro and Death Stranding. And then I think that everybody's going to come down to it was close, but it actually still went to Death Stranding.
Wow.
Do you think there's going to
Because
be a
of
huge
just the
fucking
vision, the
backlash?
technical achievements, all the above.
Do you think there's going to be a huge fucking backlash if Death Stranding wins Game of the Year at Jeff
Everybody
Keighley's Awards?
wants
I don't
No,
think
if-
there's a
if-
chance
There
Death
will be-
Stranding wins.
If Death Stranding wins, which it won't, it wouldn't be a huge backlash. It would be the vocal minority on Twitter being
People
like,
that just dumb
"Rah!"
shit.
and like the same people
I'd
who
love
even
to see
now
it.
are like, "Rah, oh my god, Jeff's in the game." And I'm
Like-
like, The fucking Subway's presenting an award, guys. Let's not take this. This isn't the word of God coming down. It's everybody talking about video games. If you don't want to believe this one, there's going to be 900 other lists you can go to.
Do we know how many total judges there are?
Yes, but I don't know if that's
190,
something like
Okay,
that.
so
Maybe
it's only
90.
about 100 or so, but that's where I'd love to know more about the profile of all of them. Like just honestly,
Dude,
hearing that the
literally
kind of
on the
funny
website.
vote represents a company, which is cool actually. But I thought it was all individuals. Like it would have been. I thought it was
No.
you and your taste, but it's
No, it's
Outlets
me.
a
The
bit.
idea is that I go see the games at Judge Week or whatever, and then but even at E3, me and Tim play games, and we talk about what's best or whatever did the thing, and same thing here, where it's like when we did nominations, there was a ton that like that go on that list, but they're not the ones I nominate. I was like, I didn't really like that game, but I know everybody else did. So.
yeah. Death Stranding still pushed a bunch of boundaries, got a lot of conversation. So I'm still gonna say at the end of the day it happens. But I personally hope Sekiro gets it, man, because they really deserve it, and that game is phenomenal.
Barrett, can you go back to that page, the Game of the Year page? Go click on the nominees. Yeah, okay, stop. Voting jury right there. Down. Boom.
Oh,
So you
it's
can see
under
here.
voting jury. Oh, so it is brands.
They had them by
in
country.
a number of cases.
Can you
And then
show it
like
to them?
just scroll,
There.
just keep scrolling down just to show.
you.
It's like
Oh, is it almost all
it's
brands?
fucking everyone.
So wait, it's 90 brands, but represented by, say, it could be 5, 10, 20 people within
every
those
single
brands.
brand puts in 5 nominees for each thing. And it's
Are we saying
weighted numbers.
we're saying brands? Are these are outlets though, right? These are
Yeah.
it's not like Coke's voting. Just if you're an audio listener, you can't see it. It's Engadget.
I
it's
mean,
Easy
kind of
Allies.
funny
Yeah.
for brand, but yes.
Coke-
Kind of funny. There it is. Woo!
Coke's Game of
Fuck
the Year
you,
would be so
IGN.
weird.
Fuck you, you piece of shit next to us. LA Times, I got no beef.
Isn't it in alphabetical order?
Esports jury.
So that's interesting. Meaning it could represent thousands of people.
Well, that's the idea, right?
Yes.
The idea is that you're gonna
Each outlet
you're
has
the
it.
judge that's at the top of the pyramid that sends in the ballot, but it is that you hope at IGN or Easy Allies, Brandon turns. It's a warm up. I always think of as an outlet voting. And depends on which outlet you're and deadlines and shit like that. But it's a warm up to you doing your own Game of the Years, right? Because it is that thing.
can
Of like
be.
Yeah.
when we come in here in January and
Temperature
fucking
check.
argue.
It always felt weird when the timing of this was because it was before everyone prepared for their
Totally.
actual like Game of the Year stuff. So like when we filled this out last year, I had not played a lot of the big games because that was my end of the year thing right
Yeah.
before Christmas.
And again, that's
Yeah.
another argument of what's good and bad about Game Awards, not the Game Awards,
Yes.
but in general. Like, I'm so happy that we're holding till January so I can use those break while I platinum other stuff to finish off the things I know I need to, like Plague's Tale and do all the stuff.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, right, I didn't play Plague's Tale. And nobody else, I don't think, in the office did, so it's not like that really got a fair shake probably when we were doing noms of like, I don't know. And
Yeah, the unfortunate problem, right, is the I guess the rough math would probably be 25-30% fewer people would watch the Game Awards if we did it in February. Right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And-
That's the thing of, to
Wait, 100% less people, or are you
inside
saying
baseball.
you agree with, like, say, a third of the people? Or
I'm saying, yeah, for sure.
It's
Like
Emoji
by Kind
100.
of Funny doing our Game of the Year in January, that will perform way worse than it would if we did it next week, 2
Right,
weeks from now.
because it's not the
I
conversation.
disagree with you, Fred, with the Game Awards. People aren't watching the Game Awards for the awards. They're watching the Game Awards for the announcements.
Yeah.
For
So
that
it's
Batman.
like whatever.
well,
that
there's
was.
totally that happening too. That's
Like they're not going to lose a third. If the Game Awards are happening in February, same amount of people are going to watch
You
because they want the.
make an awesome point with that tip. You're right. I was not factoring in, but then if that is the case, I would challenge. Why the heck are we doing
I
them?
think they're
now?
trying to own
Freaking
December.
push them.
Yeah, Jeff
That's
wants
one of the
to-
things I can
Own
see
them
him
for
changing.
what? What do they need to own them? It's an independent thing that's totally fun. Like
Jeff's got sponsors.
As long as the sponsors would advertise in say February, what's the difference?
Because they
I think
want that
some
stuff out
leadership
now
needs
for this quarter.
Yeah, and they want to make some.
Like-
money.
And
they want
meaning
it last Christmas gifts and shit like that.
I
right?
hope. I think if I'm reading you right, I'm agreeing with you. I don't like that the Game Awards are happening when they do, and the criteria. I don't think it makes it wrong.
Yeah.
I just way prefer people have their time, like you're saying.
That's
and,
fair.
You know.
Yeah, it's
And like the Fallen Order thing, like you said, like that is the game that legitimately probably would have taken the place of Outer Worlds on that list.
Fallen Order will now be Smash Brothers next year.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
at IGN, I always.
I bet it won't
or
be.
not.
I bet
Oh,
it
yeah.
won't be. I don't think it has a shot. I
Yeah,
don't think.
next
I mean,
year's
like,
stacked.
yeah, exactly.
Depends
I
on
mean,
how much they fix it.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It won't win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I always voted at IGN. It's hopefully the second or third week of January, but very rarely did we ever get there. It constantly got pushed back a lot, and we did it in January quite a bit of times, right?
Yeah,
But
no
it was always a rush when you came back. I prefer that.
I don't think there's a perfect way to do it, and that's what I mean. Jeff actually talked to Gary on Twitter about it when Gary was bitching about Jedi.
I've had
and like
ideas.
he's like the Grammys have a weird cutoff too. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Moving on to the next category.
Wait, did we
the
get-
second category?
Yeah, Resident Evil.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I missed it.
So right now, yeah,
the
again,
second
game of the
category.
year was I'm saying Control, Fran saying Death Stranding, Tim and Imran say Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2. There you go.
I'm doing Control for the upset.
Action game. For the best
Oh.
game in the action genre focused primarily on combat. Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, Metro Exodus.
I didn't play Metro Exodus. Would you
Apex
qualify it
Legends.
as primarily on combat?
Well, but that's what they say, so we just got to go by what they say, right?
Yeah, just a weird nomination thing compared to like the rest of these, which I say are straight up action or competitive action games.
I'm gonna put in
Wait,
my
what's
two.
the difference if you're
I'm gonna put in my 2 cents.
damaging an enemy?
I think it's either Apex or Devil May Cry.
I think it's either
Those are
Gears
the top
5
two
or Devil
contend-
May Cry.
I don't
feel
think
like
enough people talked about Gears.
Tell me
or
about
gave a
Devil
shit.
May Cry, Barrett. Why does that one stand out?
I never played
Devil May
it, but
Cry
like,
5 is an action
dude,
game?
like,
Just curious.
Here's
I
the
want him to
thing.
explain.
Look at this. The best action game in the action genre focused primarily on combat. The answer is Devil May Cry 5. Will Devil May Cry 5 win?
I see that I'm doing this again. It's divisive. It's a subjective answer. Like you reading combat as like you use your sword and combo enemies. Like what's the Apex is full of combat at all times.
I mean,
You're shooting people in the face all the time.
Do you know what Devil May Cry is, friend?
Wait,
It's
are you
all
saying
action and
this is why I'm bringing it
combat,
up?
It's
dude.
actually
Are you-
like slavishly.
I've
Are you
never
sick-
played it, and I know that
wanted to know
shit.
because I feel there's a smell about it. Are you suggesting Apex Legend is not as combat focused as Devil May Cry?
No, I'm.
It's not that. It's just in the same way you were talking about the definition of the game that you have the technical aspects. Devil May Cry 5 is an action game. Apex Legends, you could also call a shooter. You can't call Devil May Cry 5 a shooter.
Totally.
We kind of went over this with Andy a bit in
Just being
last
divisive.
Gamescast, is that he thinks Apex should have been nominated for Game of the Year, but because of the long time since release, it's a games as a service, which means people had enough time to have bad feelings about it, like because of loot box or whatever. While Devil May Cry 5 was a game that just came out and like got 9s and 8s and 9s and however whatever score it got. And people liked it, and then they just forgot about it. Not necessarily that's a bad thing, but that works in its favor in these kinds of awards.
Again, I'm kind of messing around, but this is the shooter category, right? There is none. There is
This
no
is-
shooter category, right?
Best action adventure is also coming up, and it has Borderlands 3 in it.
This is what always happens. You know, you have these categories. Best.
Yeah.
What is an RPG? Was Red Dead an RPG, etc. So, anyway, my easy answer is Apex on that one. I love Devil May Cry. It's awesome.
Tim, what are you saying?
These are not my picks personally.
I mean, I do think it is between Apex and
Do you think everybody's
Apex,
talking
Devil
about
May
what
Cry,
Apex
and
did?
Gears.
Came out
Here's
freaking nowhere.
I'll step out right now and I'll tell you what's gonna win. It's a fucking lock. Go to Vegas. It's Apex. Because
Yes.
this is the same thing that
Thank you.
Apex burned so bright, caught people so off guard.
New
Everybody
IP.
loved it. I think, yeah, the loot box stuff's
Slick.
happened, but I do think that is one of those games when you see on this list, you're like, oh man,
that deserves a win.
different year. That should have been game of the year or whatever. I could have made a case for it, but here it is. This is my shot to give it a nod and give it an honor.
It's the only
Dude,
real
Respawn's
games as a
on
service
fire
of
right
this
now.
list. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's
I think Devil May Cry was, even though an amazing action game, I know you guys played it and loved it, I think it's too niche. I think that Gears 5 didn't make waves because it was more Gears. And I think Metro was a, whatever you wanted out of it. Astral Chain, I started on Switch. I don't know if I ever talked about it on the show. I started it on one of those trips to LA and played it like 4 hours of it. And I was like, fuck, this is awesome. I'm having such a great time with it, but I don't.
Yeah, Astral Chain is fucking awesome. But Devil May Cry 5, I don't think Devil May Cry 5 is niche. I think compared to Apex Legends, it is niche.
Yeah,
And
I got
so for
to-
that, you know what? My vote's Apex.
I got to the part of Gears 5 yesterday that was just straight up Hamilton. Like, literally, they
yeah, I
had
heard
like
about that.
lyrics for a song sung to Alexander Hamilton.
That's awesome.
And like the stage was just Hamilton. The fact that I've not heard more people talk about it means Gears 5 did not make
yeah,
waves.
underplayed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
totally.
talked about that and everyone got really mad at me.
Because you ruined
You
it.
spoiled it. It's like, motherfucker.
Were you going to play it? Because you
It's like
didn't-
it's literally in the first hour.
I know, seriously.
But again, what makes this interesting, right? In the description, they don't really say across all category that type of wording. So it's like the story matter. It
No.
literally is just saying your best action genre.
Look, okay.
and again, I
no
realize
one who
this
was
is one
nominated has
sentence,
read that
like-
description, Fran. I want to tell you that right now.
Oh, I know. That goes back to how do you get?
It
to
is
the
going to
bottom
be
of
that
this?
most people who are nominating like Apex Legends more, so they're going to probably go for Apex Legends.
But I think the point that Greg made, the fact that it's burning so bright and Respawn also right now with Fallen Order, in a way, just powers that. I personally think that Devil May Cry, and Gears 5 are really top choices in this category because they do meet all these aspects, story, everything. I mean, Gears 5, I'm only a little bit into it. I was like, holy cow!
I started on XCloud a couple weeks ago, and I was like, fuck, I do need to sit down and play.
And
this.
the other modes that they've added and stuff, it's killer.
Imran, what's your pick though?
Apex,
For what you, Apex so far.
I think Apex is going to win.
Okay.
I think every outlet has somebody who would vote for Astral Chain or Devil May Cry 5.
Yep.
But usually it's going to be those two people who play it, and that's it. Everyone else is going to go,
Everyone
I like
laugh 'em out of
Apex
the
Legends
rooms.
when I
Get
play
out here,
it.
go watch
Yeah.
your anime.
I'm
Put
gonna
another
go watch
Pokemon in your backpack, you weirdo.
I'm going to go
Stop.
watch my anime.
Action adventure game. For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Man,
Dang.
I would have.
This is a tough category.
This is an easy one for me.
This is one of those for sure where when we did nominations, I was like, oh man, all right, best action game, Borderlands.
was like,
and then I got the thing, I'm like, action adventure, huh? That's where we're going. All right, yeah, I guess there's, you're doing. Yeah, there's traversal and puzzle solving, I guess. The
Because
solution to the puzzle is shoot the thing, but okay, sure.
It is strange to me that Borderlands ended up in this versus the action category.
Yeah.
So
What do you got, Barrett? You're
I'm
trying to
doing
say-
the Andy
Oh,
I'm
no.
horny thing. Sekiro.
Because I think
really,
yeah,
it's
because
an
I think
awesome
RE2 remake is going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I think this is where you give Control.
See, that's my
They
thing.
should
For me,
not
I'm between
work that
Control
way.
and Sekiro.
That's a
but
filthy-
They do. But they
that's
do,
a filthy
Fran.
job as a critic if you're doing that. You don't put something in another category because it's gonna win this other one. Sorry, I'm
putting. I say Control here as well. Because it's not even. It is because I think that when you think of Game of the Year, you're gonna go for one, probably Ari or something up there, right? But I do think that action adventure is so much of what Control is, of going into these new environments, figuring out how you're gonna get there, getting new powers going on that way.
I totally agree with you. However, I think that people want to look fancy and look cultured, so they're going to vote
monocles?
for Sekiro.
All right.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to RE2 or Sekiro. Again, not personally, but what I think the critics might do. And I'm going to actually say it's going to be RE2.
Okay.
I'm
I think they're
torn
just all
between.
going to clap. Yeah. You kidding me? Of course.
I feel like Zelda passed a lot of people by. Otherwise, Zelda would be like, I don't know. This year was weird. I think maybe it was so slavish a remake that a lot of people just weren't into it, or a lot of outlets at least. So I'm torn between Sekiro and Control, but I think I'm swayed by Barrett's reasoning that I think Control probably takes this one.
All right.
I'd
so
be
then,
so happy if Control.
Barrett, Greg, and
Personally.
Imran say Control. Fran says Resident Evil 2, and Tim says Sekiro.
Before we move on,
Can-
let me tell you about our sponsors. Shout out to Trojan for sponsoring this episode. That's right. They actually did it. Here you go. We always talk about rule number 1. Stay safe. Use protection. That's what they're trying to help us do here. If you're trying to stimulate her where it counts, this is one of the best ways to do it. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, STDs are at an all-time high in the U.S., with half of all new STDs occurring in young people ages 15 to 24. But condom use is on the decline. Only 1 in every 3 sex acts involves a condom amongst singles. 62% of couples stop using condoms regularly after the 2-month mark in a sexual relationship, and 78% stop using condoms after the 6-month mark. Those numbers, those are pretty scary, man. Those are really scary. We can fix that right now. Trojan brand condoms help protect against both unintended pregnancy and STDs. Trojan has the reliability of a brand that has done this for over 100 years in a modern and evolving world of sex, one filled with swipe rights, dating apps, and emojis. Trojan is here to be your guide as the most trusted brand in sex. Trojan has over 30 different varieties of condoms to choose from: thin, ribbed, lubricated, non-lubricated, latex, non-latex. So many options. You can pick up Trojan condoms wherever you get your condoms. That's true. Pick up Trojan condoms wherever you get your condoms. You can even go to Amazon.com/Trojan condoms and get them there. They make it that easy. You can get these ones. Look how pretty they are. They match the background. Also, shout out to Quip. Quip, makers of the Quip electric toothbrush, want you to know the one single discovery that matters most for your dental care. It's simply this: that you have good habits, and then you're good. That's all you got to do. Quip makes these habits super easy. 2 minutes every time you brush your teeth. Every 30 seconds, there's a sonic pulse that goes off, letting you know to change the quadrant of your mouth for a nice, even clean, keeping your oral health on the up and up. That means brushing for 2 minutes twice a day and flossing regularly, and no matter what brand you use, Quip make it the simple starting point with an electric toothbrush, reliable floss, and anti-cavity toothpaste. The Quip floss dispenser comes with a pre-marked string to help you use just enough. That was always been my thing with the flossing. Too much of an endeavor, too much things to do. Quip, they make that easy. They made brushing my teeth even easier. Now to make flossing.
And they make it great. I just went to my dentist the other day, Tim, and the last time I went to her, I didn't have Quip, but this time I did. And she says this is the cleanest she's ever seen my teeth.
There you go. From B Money himself. If you go to getquip.com/KF right now, you'll get your first refill pack free. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/KF. GETQUIP.com/KF. Quip, the good habits company. And finally, shout out to Upstart. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy. Getting out, it's hard, especially if your credit score isn't great. Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows that you are more than just your credit score and offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off your high-interest credit card debt, like the debt that Greg Miller had when he was making his move to San Francisco. Upstart could have totally helped him with making some wiser decisions there. Upstart goes beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They believe in you. What nice guys, you know? They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes. And the best part, once the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. You can free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. You can see why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot. And hurry to upstart.com/kindafunny to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/kindafunny. Art direction. Best art direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation.
Yeah.
Control. Death Stranding. Gree. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Thank you.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Art direction.
Control.
Art direction. Yeah.
Death Stranding, Gree, Sayonara, Wild
Sayonara,
Hearts, and what was the other few? Sorry, we don't
Right
have the
here,
list
right
up
here.
on that one.
Did Gree come out this year?
Yes.
I
Link's
remember
Awakening and
Yeah.
evaluating it for Game of the Year last year.
Beautiful game.
Are you saying the Keeleys have lost all sense
It might be
of
one of those
time
Smash
and
Brothers style
space?
things of like,
Yeah, it was. It was like, I remember we got, because I was still at IGN when I played it for them.
He drops it all the time.
Yeah, it was like right after Game Awards, I want to say.
okay, so it would have been counted for this year. But,
Yeah.
all right.
Best art
God,
direction.
these are all
I
really
mean,
good
honestly,
choices.
I feel like the winner's Death Stranding.
Really?
What?
Over Zelda?
Wow.
I love Zelda, personally.
Has a-
But if you're gonna give Death Stranding anything, it's this. Like this did something
Direction.
like weird and different.
Death Stranding next direction.
Oh, fuck.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lock.
Yeah,
of the
no.
night.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're right there. You're
So
right
Kojima
there.
can get the award. Like you want
Yeah.
to hand it to him directly.
Let's see. Okay.
Yeah,
Critics
Honestly,
are doing
I think
this,
this one
it's so
comes down to
frustrating.
Gree versus Wild Hearts. I think
Wow.
it's another one of those.
I think those are the answers. I don't think that's what's gonna.
I
win.
think you look at this though, and it's the same thing. We're seeing the same games come up in categories over and over again, and you want to shake it up. So you get here and you're like, art direction, right? Outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic direction and animation. And saying it out loud, I think it's Gree. I think that's what's going to happen because I think that you're going to be like, that is art. You look at it and it's art, right?
I agree with you on like that would be my choice, but I think Wild Hearts has a better both name recognition as one Apple Arcade launch game.
Yep.
And I think Zelda has better recognition as fucking Zelda.
Yeah.
And I think people are gonna. The thing that is gonna hold Zelda back is that I know a number of people who vote in the Game Awards that have just said like I don't like the art direction of that game.
They're
Yeah.
fucking crazy. It is. Oh God, such a stunning style.
All
You know
these
what?
games
Even
are
looking at this though, I
frankly.
still go Death Stranding.
Okay.
Oh, it's absolutely.
I'm gonna
a
stick with
tough
Zelda.
choice.
I think. I think
It's
it'll
Gree, baby.
eke by. It's not gonna be a landslide, but I think it'll win.
Fran, where are you going? You're the holdout right now. Tim has Death Stranding. I have Gree. Imran has The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Trying to like separate my subjectivity
Yeah.
on this.
Wait,
one.
is this the one? We're supposed to call it Grease?
No, it's Gree. It
Okay.
means gray. It's French, isn't it?
No, I think people yelled at us. That
It is Gree.
because it's Spanish.
No matter what
Oh,
I
it's
do, I
Spanish.
pick the wrong one. So that I just
But it
want to make
means
sure.
gray, and
No,
it's
it's
all
not.
Chris.
What you did.
it is Gree. No, it's Gree.
Grizzle.
Anyway, I'm torn between Gree and Death Stranding, and I'm gonna say, I think Greg's right. I'm gonna go with Gree. It's beautiful.
Audio design. Recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design.
Oh, I always love this category.
Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Control, Death Stranding, Gears 5, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I feel like there's not even a chance that this is anything but
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that fucking
I hope it
presentation?
wins.
Yeah, again, for inside baseball, the reason this will win is simple, and not because it doesn't deserve it at all. Audio design, I think, is such a weird fucking category. You know what I
'Cause
mean?
we don't notice it at all.
Exactly. When it's done well, you don't
need
notice
a
it. When
nice
it's
room.
badly, you totally notice it, right? The reason Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I think, wins this category easily is that when we went to Judges Week and we got it at E3 and we went into the private room and got the whole rundown of Modern Warfare, they spent 5 to 10 minutes talking about how much
Way more
work,
than that.
yeah,
It
how
was
much
like-
work went into the audio design of this, and it meant that they had the PC build of the game running, and they would go in with everything turned off and go shoot a gun in a giant open area, go shoot a gun close to the wall. You'd hear the differences there. You'd hear the shells hit off the wall, hit off the car, and it was like
It was like with Battlefield when the DICE engine stuff was happening, and I mean that was a bit. Maybe you don't even remember. That was huge
No,
then
I'm
too. It
lost
was
there.
doing all of the environmental reverb and everything, but really well.
I think they made such a, and so this is a textbook case if you're into something this deep.
Yes.
Show it to the journalists, show it to the people. I think that everybody on that list, not everybody who was a judge there was at that E3 demonstration, obviously, but I think that you have enough people that go and evangelize that, where it's like, yeah, okay, guys, the rain and Death Stranding sounded great, but and maybe it is. You talk to Kojima, maybe it is hitting off rocks differently and doing these things, but it wasn't
It wasn't part of the marketing.
let's sit you down and explain so clearly what is happening here and why it's amazing. Yeah.
So, just a side here, but since we're talking about this topic, Resident Evil 2, the audio is so good, and I loved the experience with it. It made it so scary, and
You can hear
everything just
Mr. X
sounded
stomping
right.
around.
Yeah. Oh my God, Mr. X alone, the sound design of that was so freaking fantastic. But I
like-
will give it a knock because playing it on Xbox One X, which is the Dolby Atmos headphones thing, you could pay extra or whatever. It is such a fantastic experience that really makes it feel like Dolby Atmos with a headset. And Resident Evil 2's mix was atrocious.
No, that's too bad.
I turned it off of that because I wanted to just listen to it in whatever stereo or their fake ass shit, and it was way better. And I'm like, that sucked because it should have been a shining example of what Dolby does on Xbox and why Xbox is technically better than PlayStation because it has that.
Right. I will say Control, their audio design is really good. Hearing the hiss whisper around you wherever
really
you
good.
go.
That's true.
The fact that you can, so there's a gameplay mechanic where if you pull the items towards you, they do more damage than if you were tossing them mid range. So the fact they tie a sound to that, so you can start going by sound based on how close something is into you. I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna throw this right now because I can't risk it. That's actually good audio design right there. But nobody's gonna notice that, so it's not gonna be in the.
Some
probably
people
gonna
noticed it, apparently. Yeah, honestly, this is such an expert category. And what I mean by that is this is one of those tough ones where you can put it out to everybody, and it's sort of like, just what did you hear? But then there's also the experts that listen to this stuff. I mean, game designers and audio designers that could tell us a lot of stuff that you don't even notice. But anyway,
It
I
also
agree.
means it's going to be the one that gets handed
but-
off screen.
But because it is just a broad category, they don't put it into some niche of these are the people that know, say, audio design the best. I agree with Greg. I mean, I think, and I hear Modern Warfare is just unbelievable as well. So I have, I believe that will win. Strong
Imran,
feelings on
I
that
didn't get an official pick from you.
Call of Duty.
All right, there you go. Sweeps.
I like this one a lot. Community support. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness.
Oh, man.
Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, or Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Is that the last one? There's an
I love
arrow
it
on the
because I
right.
feel like recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, right? So much of this, for us to be voting and the outlets to be voting, I think is based on the news you read or this, that, and the other. And I bet that no matter who you were to vote for, if you talk to the community, they'd be like, no way, they didn't answer us on this thing or that thing, and I put this up, and da-da-da. And so it's such a weird, that should be such a community award given out inside of the community.
This one the community should have weighted at least 50%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Way more than outlets.
Great point.
Because I don't. Just speaking personally, I don't know that many journalists that have time for Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
However, from hearing from that community, they fucking love that game right now.
Yeah.
Shadowbringers is apparently one of the best MMORPG things they've played ever.
And I think that, honestly, I hear that too. So I think that, honestly, is what, again, to what we're talking about,
enough of us have heard that.
Yeah, oh, everybody's happy there because, right, Apex Legends had so much hullabaloo, right, with the fucking developers going after the audience that one time.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 in a great place now, right, but had a year.
But I think
of, like,
the Cinderella story for Destiny 2 is going to
It
take
had a
over
good
this
year,
year.
also
actually.
true.
Of, like, they got
Also
away
true.
from Activision. They got to call it an MMORPG. They got to make it like a
Yeah, no, Destiny had a great year in terms of community support this year, I'd
cross-save and all
say.
that.
Yeah.
They've turned around things after the last year and a half, so it's the perfect time to recognize them for what they've done. Actually,
Fortnite did amazing things, but like, did they respond to the community? Because
So,
the
let
community
me
is
ask
always
this.
pissed off
Fortnite's
about-
my vote for
Yeah?
prediction.
Yeah.
Chapter
I think it's gonna
2,
win.
it was a huge thing. It was
Yeah.
news
Oh
stories
yeah.
everywhere.
But
That's
was
just-
that a community support thing?
I don't think that matters.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is like that's not what people are actually going to be voting for.
They're like, I heard
Yeah.
Fortnite did a big thing.
Another one where it's a little confused. Responsiveness doesn't mean they did what everybody wanted, right? It
Yeah.
just
Maybe
means
they
they got
responded,
back
though.
to you quickly.
See, I
Technically.
think for me personally, this is between Destiny 2 and Final Fantasy, and I think Final Fantasy has been, from what I understand, right, cool as cucumber. Everybody's happy and they enjoy the content. Whereas responsiveness, right, Destiny 2 finally getting the shackles off and being able to put out their giant manifesto, right, and have Luke say openly it's an MMO,
Yeah.
and for them to say this isn't ready, so we're delaying. Like
Yeah.
that is what we're talking about, right?
But that
in
to me,
communities.
though, we're seeing a split vote. That
Yeah.
means Fortnite wins. Where I think the Destiny and Final Fantasy are the people that are like paying attention for all that. Fortnite's the like, oh, they've been killing it.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get the popular vote.
I think
Yeah,
it-
that was my first reaction. Was like Fortnite is super responsive, even if again they don't give you what you want. They've been pretty darn responsive
I mean,
about
Fortnite's
almost
incredible.
everything. Like everybody wanted airplanes out of there as fast as possible, but they were in there forever. But they kept saying, we know that it's a problem, and like to me, that's an important part of responsiveness. Is like we know that you guys don't like it, give it a shot, or we know that you don't like it, we're working on it, but not being quiet about it. So anyway, I'm just gonna go with Fortnite because they are super. They're so connected with the community, whether you like their choices or not.
I think the narrative for Destiny 2 is probably overrun. Like, the number of journalists independently who have told me they read Luke Smith's Twitter responses and saw it going from anger to, like,
And they don't even play the game,
contentment.
maybe.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter if they played the game or even if the community is actually that responsive. They have noted it as a community-oriented thing this year.
Yeah, and it's huge. So it's I'm a little like biased on that one. The deep community commentary would be they've done a bang up job this year of coming out of the woodwork. The split from Activision earned some huge points, as you said, but there's like some lingering stuff like PvP just
I just
continues
feel like
to not
that's
be talked
too-
about. It's
that's-
too
that's
many.
too-
No,
that's too
and
many
it wouldn't
ways.
factor in it. I'm giving you that
Oh
side.
no, I
there.
hear you. But this is what I'm talking about.
Imran
See,
said is-
I'm voting Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Right. What
And
I'm
I
saying
think then you get into a community and Fran's like, well,
Might be
here's
right.
why I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, see, I'm too close. I see too much of the other side. I think
I've
they
always
had
said
an
you see too much.
amazing year again. I'm not knocking what
France
they've
sees
done
through
this year.
time.
But I'm going to pick Fortnite.
I'm going to pick Destiny 2.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
And Tim
That's
took
good to hear.
Fortnite as well.
Fortnite, yeah.
Oh,
Next
on
up.
that one.
We have.
Content creator of the
Do
year.
you guys feel qualified to answer
No.
this one?
Yeah, I know
'Cause if
everybody
any of the esports ones, we
except,
won't do.
GREFG.
Greg, you can't just run again and put a letter
Who is
in your
David
name.
Martinez again? Can
Okay, so yeah, let's not do this one.
wait? I know everybody in this category except,
for
for
David
that.
Martinez.
Who is?
Fran, why are
do
you not in
know,
this
Barrett?
category? Fran, what would
I want
Mate.
Courage to win. I feel like Courage should
what
win.
would
Yeah,
you
I
have
was-
to do to
I
be in
think
this?
Courage-
I want
Got
Shrod
it.
to win because I worked with Shrod and he likes us and he's nice.
I actually think Ewok's gonna win it.
Well,
Who's
he's got what a name.
He's
Ewok.
mixed or exclusive
she, I
now.
believe, right?
Oh, my apologies. I know
Yeah,
nothing
it's
about
got,
Ewok.
wearing like a furry hat in the photo, by the way. So Ewok is super young, came out of nowhere, super skilled player. Won, I forget if actually, won one of the tournaments in Fortnite, and just honestly blew up and is like been a super positive, supported player. And I think on just being on the young side, but I think otherwise you're right that Courage has blown up. And
Yeah.
has a very
See,
strong
that's why
chance.
I think that Courage,
Totally
as a
dog.
content creator, has done more. Where what he's done with 100 Thieves on the YouTube side as well as the streaming side, like he makes content and
Yeah.
working with them and like what their brand has turned into.
Yeah, you're right. I kind of picked it for trending, and I guess the definition, like you said, is who has made an important and positive impact. Although Ewok did in those ways, so but yeah, maybe
We're not even going to predict this one though, because we're not, like that's.
I mean,
then, next up,
we're in the same place most outlets who are looking at this. We're also being like, I don't
well,
know.
no,
I heard
but-
a Shroud.
Well, so that's the thing
No,
is a
they
lot of
could be in
the
that mix. I
some
don't
of these
know
they
one
have
person.
the esports judge panelists. that are-
okay,
that
is
are
it only
separate.
them that are on that, or just weighted more? Or
I don't. They didn't go into the
did
specifications
kind of
about
funny
that.
vote on esports people?
Let's check. Before I say, I would tell you we for sure wouldn't have voted in this category, so I don't
Unless
know
it
if
was just Andy or something, right? Which that happens sometimes, right? Like you're
Yeah,
like,
totally.
we're only allowing the person who's qualified, to respond.
I skipped all the other esports stuff.
Thank you.
I figured that's what you wanted to go.
I love
Yeah,
the
no, we
family
did not.
game.
That's a community thing. We didn't have to vote for that.
Are we moving on to the family game?
Golden Boy though, up for esports host. That's fine.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
He
I
already
hope he
won
wins.
that at the Esports Awards.
Great speech.
I didn't
Okay,
watch
cool.
the speech.
Family game.
Good.
Family
The-
game for
the
the,
Nintendo
best
category.
for the best game
Just-
appropriate
yeah.
for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. We have Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Yoshi's Crafted World,
It's gonna be Smash.
and that's it.
Like,
I'm with Smash.
Yeah,
Really?
I think
Not
Smash is
Super
gonna win.
Mario Maker?
Especially, this is one where it, bleeds over that they're like, well, it's probably not going to get Game of the Year, so we're
Yep.
going to give it here.
Yeah.
But
No,
it is a
I-
great choice.
I had Super Mario Maker 2, I think.
it's a good game, and especially like the new updates are fantastic. Really, Luigi's Mansion 3
I think,
also a
I
great
think
game.
Ultimate is just too far removed at this point. I don't
funny,
think
but
I think
I-
the
But I
number
think
of-
you
yeah.
get to hear, and what a stupid name. Family game.
I actually think,
Yeah.
even though Super Mario Maker...
Appropriate for family play. Like
Yeah.
Super Mario Maker, I feel
This is a bad
I think of, and
category.
I think a lot of people think of as a single player game.
The number of
yeah.
people I saw at E3 though, like old game journalists talking about like fucking Banjo Kazooie's and Smash.
Dude, that's the
Brothers.
thing. And like Smash has the DLC hype updates of
Smash
like
is
new character,
monstrous.
new character, new character. It's the best-selling fighting game of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Like,
talking
there's
to
so
people
much
in their
going
in.
40s
So
who were like,
accessible.
Banjo, like now I'm gonna play this game now. It's like, okay, cool.
That's where I was looking at it from. It's like, literally, if you put 4 people in a room and haven't played any of these games, and I chose 4 for whatever a reason, but like Smash is so obvious overall compared to the rest.
I mean, that's the
Ring-
thing is
these
like
are all
family
the-
play implies multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't have to be. It could just
Yeah,
be
it could be
someone
two-player.
playing, a
It
kid
could be, like-
watching. Luigi's Mansion has 2-player.
They
Mario
all
Maker
have,
2
except for
like,
Ring Fit.
Yeah.
Ring Fit's weird. Why is that on this list?
You hand off. the
Because
ring.
something you
someone
can do
wants
with
to
a
give
kid
it
in
a-
the room.
No,
Can I do
that's-
this with my kid in the room?
Let's watch my sweaty dad exercise.
No, I think it's a good choice. Right? I haven't played it, but I'm pretty sure, right? It's one of those you hand off the ring and it's your turn. And those games are always awesome for family and sibling and stuff.
I don't recall
like that,
being
so.
prompted for that, but maybe.
I haven't played it at all,
Yeah.
but I'm quite. It's got to be in there. Like it's your turn.
I think it's just it was the most recent Nintendo game when the nominations were made.
Anyway, it's going to be Smash. Does
Yeah,
anybody
that's a
think
good
it's
call.
not going to be Smash? Just for clarifying.
No.
Oh, Barrett did.
Oh,
was
Barrett.
the- Well, you're wrong, but whatever.
Greg, your vote is Smash?
Yep.
Next up, fighting game. For the best
This is
game.
a weak ass list.
For the
Kombat
best
11.
game designed primarily around
course.
head-to-head combat, Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I've played every game on
Is
this
it Mortal
list.
Kombat 11
It's
or
Mortal-
is it Smash Bros.
It's Mortal
Ultimate?
Kombat 11.
Mortal Kombat
And I feel like
11.
because people don't think of Smash as a fighting game.
I think the the people who are not Smash players are not going to think of it as a fighting game.
Yeah.
So like
Okay, but it's on the list.
as
so-
a fighting game person, I
is.
would. But yeah, but the outlets who are going to vote are going to be like, oh, it's going to be Mortal Kombat 11. Dead or Alive or Jump Force are weird additions of like we need to fill out the list. Because Jump Force is just straight up garbage.
Nah,
and Dead or Alive is not the best Dead or Alive at
Well,
all.
I'm voting for Smash Brothers. And again, it's not a personal vote. I actually just think
Oh, yeah.
it's accessibility and the fact that it's the best-selling fighting game of all time.
Smash
by the
Brothers
way.
would be my choice,
It-
but Mortal Kombat 11 is going to be chosen.
I think it's the same thing as before, where it's like, oh, Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
They
That
pop
deserves
up,
that
and they pop up
category.
in the fighting game category.
because also
Yeah, sure.
like everyone played through that story mode like
It was,
within
and it
outlets.
was so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. People like sweeps, though, don't they? You know, meaning when this it keeps like God of War, it just took every category
Mortal
and
Kombat
that was
11
fine.
has sweeps.
Yeah. No,
down and kick.
I'm just very nice. I like Mortal Kombat.
Friend got
I
God.
Smash has a strong chance. In
It does have a strong
very
chance.
strong.
But
But I go with Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, we'll know next week.
can we get
Okay.
a Subway sandwich out for this one?
Now we get the fresh indie game presented by
Fresh.
Subway. I love
It's
it.
not too
So
bad.
fresh. Recognizing a new independent studio that released its first game in 2019.
That is a bullshit moniker, by the way. Because a lot of these are made by veterans. Like,
But
the-
it's the
the
studio.
think
the
that's
that's
studio
fair.
is new, but like some of these have been like made by people who have been in the industry for like 20, 30 years.
But yeah,
People.
like,
Yeah,
why is
shut up, Imran?
You know, but I agree,
Eat
it's
fresh.
not detailed enough. Because why isn't Death Stranding on this list then? Because it perfectly fits that description.
It actually would.
I mean, it does. We've had this discussion on Games Cast, and I always say it's about the budget and amount of people. I don't think
Sure.
you put
PlayStation being
huge
behind it.
budget.
right?
It's
That's-
an
yeah.
It's
internal-
less about the people behind it. It's about the budget. Well, a little about the people behind it, but having meaning one AAA director and a team of 5 people is not going to net you, a blockbuster.
Okay.
game.
I'm just going to read
Anyway.
the game
Yeah,
names
go
here.
through there.
Yeah.
Disco Elysium, Gris,
Agree. It is great.
Gris,
Just Grease.
My Friend Pedro, Outer Wilds, Slay the Spire, Untitled Goose Game.
I really fucking want to play Outer Wilds, and I've heard a lot of like groundswell around that game, especially as Game of the Year stuff ramps up,
It's Outer Wilds.
yeah, I think it's going to be Outer Wilds.
It's a weird one where
Yeah, I was gonna say Mobius Digital.
it'll probably be Outer Wilds, but there's also a lot of people who really champion Slay the Spire.
And Goose Game, people love it.
And like that's
People
the
love
thing where
memes.
like I think these two votes get split, and I think Goose Game takes
Oh,
it.
shit.
Yeah.
I can see people
I'm
just
Outer
going like,
Wilds.
I don't know, so I'm just going to vote Goose Game, but I think most people are going to, like, this feels like we want to toss Outer Wilds something.
Yep, I think that's exactly
what
the
it is.
thing. Outer Wilds, everybody knows, is everybody's like darling. Everybody loves that game. Disco Elysium, I think if it would have come out earlier, it could have gotten more of that hype and more of that. But I think Outer Wilds is that thing you've heard so many people talk about.
Like, that screenshot of Disco Elysium is where I convinced my higher-ups that I did not lose my gun.
But again, that's not how stuff gets nominated, right? Like, in other words, it's not like people look at other categories and say, let's throw this in as a discussion. You literally have to vote, and everybody's got to vote, and it shows up. Like Astral Chain showing up, I thought was awesome. It was a good example of something I don't think that was
But
super
also, that
widely
game got
played.
like 9s.
Yes.
And like, probably one of the
Sure.
better-selling Platinum games.
Yeah, but so did Disco Elysium. It's not in the Game of the Year awards, right? Didn't Disco Elysium do really well?
I don't know who reviewed it, honestly.
But I'm with Tim. Mobius Digital for Outer Wilds, I think it's going to get
That's
it.
what I said too. Are we all on the same page then?
Yeah, I think Outer Wilds. I think Goose Game, most people who played it, after, like, most outlets that played it were like, this game is delightful. It's not actually that good a game.
Yeah.
Which is where I would put it, honestly.
All right.
Haven't played it.
Game
I did-
direction.
I did map 1. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I played map 1. I was
Ooh,
like,
game direction.
Game direction.
Which
awarded
is just
for-
Game of the Year, except they replaced Worlds with Wilds.
Yes.
Oh.
Correct. That's correct.
Game direction awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, and
Death
Outer
Stranding.
Wilds
No Smash Brothers, I
instead
guess.
of Outer Worlds.
Take it to the bank. It's Death
Death
Stranding.
Stranding.
Yeah.
It's hard to deny.
Yeah.
Like when you have a game that you know the game director by name,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's good
It-
by all account, by most accounts, it's going to win best.
Funny that you said. I was literally on the tip of my tongue about to say, putting even knowing Kojima aside. I literally was almost saying it. I agree with you, but it was like that game. Like if it, granted, it had so much lead up in branding, but it really stands out, and you can't deny it.
It's
has
definitely
such
like most directed.
it has such a vision to it, and it's hard to deny. So all amazing choices on this list, though. What a great year, actually.
Cool year.
Well, meaning we talk, oh, there's no one clear choice, but actually, the more I look at this, I'm like, man, it was a really good year.
Really good year.
It's just hard to compare anything to God of War.
7.9.
Right? Don't you guys agree? Like, isn't God of War the problem?
No,
That
the year
is now-
before that,
and Breath of
we've
the
been on
Wild.
such a fucking upswing of games that I think that yes, this year is very good. I don't think
amazing.
it holds a candle to the last 2 years, and I think next year is gonna fucking blow this year out of the
2017
water.
is probably one of the best gaming years I've ever, like, in my entire gaming career.
I had to go back and look, but it's just like, man.
I don't think
Mother-
this year is
Odyssey
bad.
and Breath of the Wild alone to me put it in
Yeah.
such like those are two
Like,
10 out of 10.
Nier Automata, Yakuza 0, Horizon, like, those are all
Horizon,
amazing fucking games.
This is such a great list, though, man.
You're
It
looking
is a
like
great
wistful, like you're about to choke up.
It's because I feel like there's been a narrative. Because there was no drop of Red Dead, and Death Stranding I think confused people.
No,
if it was literally just a new Metal Gear, everybody'd be over the moon.
I don't think that's true though.
I think so.
It would still have to be good. It would have to
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't like Red Dead though, right? But anyway, I think it's an amazing.
I actually
I just
legit
keep looking
love
at
it, like-
Sekiro, like, and not just because I've been playing. I'm like, man, they just deserve an award.
Okay, I'm gonna put it this way. I really love Sekiro. I think a lot of its placement here is like mea culpa for Bloodborne. That people think that should.
And that's why I think it's going to win the one I said. It's like it's a, hey, I'm cultured. I'm
What
cool.
year was Bloodborne again?
2015.
What was it up against that year?
2015 was MGS5, Witcher 3.
Oh, Witcher 3 and everything.
Yeah, Undertale.
Next up is it everyone's voting Death Stranding, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Games for Impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message.
I think this is also a bullshit category.
Concrete Genie. Agree.
You hate social media.
Kind
For
Words.
Impact.
Life is Strange 2. Sea of Solitude.
I think some of these games should be on like best indie game or other like lists like that.
I'm gonna take myself out of the running on this one. I don't know enough about
I've played
all of them.
Yeah, I've played all. No, I've played Sea of Solitude. I played the
But
rest.
still, this one though, Fran, this is a we're
mean, I
voting
do
for,
and I don't.
We're predicting what the most people are
You
going
got
to
to
say.
predict, yeah.
I think Life is Strange 2 is going to get on name recognition.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
See,
weak
the
on
problem with
Kind
Life is
Words
Strange
and
2
Sea
is I
Solitude.
just feel like it, well, you're talking earlier, right? Like the release schedule hurt it so badly
Yes.
that I think so many people on this one were like, I'll wait for they're all out.
But it's so fucking
But I
good.
still
Oh,
think-
I'm not.
Yeah, no, I
I
understand.
episode 1 and 2, I'm right
but,
there with you.
But I bet you the person who at every outlet did play Life is Strange is like, Life is Strange 2 is so fucking good, put it on this list.
More people played that than any of these other games.
Did anybody here play Sea of Solitude?
No, Andrea did. It's another one that's
I
on my
remember her
thing to
talking
do.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Generally, it seemed like it was just like a, it's good, not great kind of thing. That seems the vibe everybody had.
I
of
mean,
it.
I was wondering
It's
what
on
the
my
message.
thing to do.
I was wondering what the
Depression.
message was.
It's a
Yes.
depression.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it, but I feel like that
also
one's gonna
about
stick
depression,
out.
essentially. Kind Words is very cool, but it's like a game you play once. It's like, okay, I really dig the message of this.
If I have
What
to
about,
throw
what
a
about
dart
Gree,
at it,
though?
I'm gonna say Sea of Solitude. Actually, I remember her talking about it, so I'm just gonna go with that.
See, I feel like Sea of Solitude
Especially if it's about depression. and
is
everything.
known for being in this game about depression and literally like wading through it. I think Life is Strange 2, while great on name recognition, I think not enough people, even when we voted, it wasn't done yet, so people might have disqualified it for that. Kind Words, same thing as you. I mean, whatever. It's a game either you never heard of or you played once. You're like, okay, I get it, kind of thing. I think, yeah, Gree has a really good shot here. Again, it was a game that did not do it for me, but I know it did for a lot of people. And then Concrete Genie, I fucking adore, and I get it.
It's on the
Ending
list
message
because
is
of
not
us.
that
Anti-bullying, it's on the list because of us, probably. But I don't know. I don't think it's so in your face about bullying that it's like that's the message of what's going
Yeah.
on.
By the way, if you guys have not, who has not played Gree here?
I gave it a shot. And I didn't like it.
Oh, you
I didn't
tried
finish it. I didn't. I
Oh,
did it
you
on the
tried
cast. Yeah, I did
well,
not
then
like
you played it though.
Yeah.
Okay. Man,
It's
surprised.
pretty.
I was just like, did you have your headphones in?
Yeah.
Dang, man.
We get it.
So
It's
cool.
pretty.
It's a really
I'm
good
fucking
game.
floating, jumping on weird trees.
I don't
Great.
know that the message got through, but then again, who knows if that's like what people are actually voting on.
They're-
Right.
They're
exactly.
not.
Exactly. Right?
But so
Sea
that's
of
why I'm
Solitude.
kind of leaning towards Gree now. I was so strong in Life is Strange, but
I'm still sticking to Life is Strange.
yeah, fuck it. Life is Strange.
Okay.
Were
What'd you
Greg?
say? What'd you say, Franny?
Sea of Solitude.
See, I'm gonna go Sea of Solitude too because I think that is so
Sure,
on the
the message.
nose about the message of depression.
Yeah. Also, it had a very good like presentation at EA Play last
Yeah.
year. Yeah, it would have been last year because they didn't have one this year.
They did. I hope
They
so. There we
did,
go.
but they didn't have a press conference.
Next up, independent game. For outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Baba Is You, Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds, Untitled Goose Game.
Two of these are very successful at like GDC kind of awards and IGF and all, like that.
I think it's Disco Elysium, far and away.
I think Katana Zero.
Certainly has a strong winner. Yeah,
Wow, look at
the
everybody
middle-
splitting up on this one.
I think Outer Wilds.
I think Outer Wilds.
Yeah, I'm picking Outer Wilds. I think those are all strong choices to me. Disco, Katana.
Of this list, I'd probably choose any of them.
yeah,
Like
I mean,
personally, maybe not Untitled Goose Game, but the rest of them for sure are like four of the best indie games this last year. Baba Is You made me feel like an idiot, which is great.
Tim, you said Disco.
Yeah, Katana Zero. There's something about it.
You said Katana Zero.
I'm
oh,
leaning.
you
I'm-
swapped.
I feel
No,
like
I didn't.
there was not a
Oh.
whole lot of conversation around
Who said Outer
Zero.
Wilds?
I said Outer
Barrett
Wilds.
said
Oh.
Disco. I said Katana.
Okay.
Okay, so Barrett says Disco, Tim says Katana, me, Fran, and Imran say Outer Wilds. Good to see Tim waste his vote there.
Here we
the winner
go.
goes too.
No, it's just something about the
Wasted.
it stands out visually when you're looking at it, and I feel like it goes down to the way people vote about this.
Maybe best
with
art
this
direction?
is they do the thing of, well, we already gave that to this, we should give this to this, and I think Outer
To
Wilds
an
is going to get the other one.
extent, to an extent, they do.
People are being exposed to the
to an
bullshit of this
extent that
industry.
happens when I think you're worried about running away or doing different things. I don't think it applies to this category, where I think it's a race here between Disco Elysium and Outer Wilds. Katana Zero is another game that if it wasn't for us, I wouldn't hear people talk about it.
Isn't Katana Zero one dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, and for that reason, if people
Great-
know,
great dude,
it's
great game.
like
Yeah.
absolutely, and on the technical.
But I still
achievement
think
side.
you're
We
talking
got
about
Forbes
independent
30
game.
to 30 yesterday.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Did you go and night
Yeah,
anybody?
do you guys
Like,
have a
send fruit bags
special
to
like
dinner?
cigar party that you go to?
You make a good honestly, it's like Katana Zero and Untitled Goose Game are known for being on the most accessible console, which is the Switch, and that's a good point. I'm so confident in
Yeah, I'll
Disco
just make it
Elysium
up
just
stuff,
because, but it is stuck on PC.
And it's a lot of reading. People hate reading.
Yeah.
I do.
Next up, mobile game. For the best game playable on a dedicated mobile device, Call of Duty Mobile. Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sky, Children of the Light, and What the Golf.
I think it's going to be Call of Duty. Personally, it's made a lot of waves. They've done amazing stuff this year with it.
I feel like it's Grindstone.
I want it to be Grindstone.
I
Really
want it to be
badly.
Grindstone. I think it's gonna be Sky Children of Light.
Yeah, and
There was enough
the other one
marketing
that
and
I
like
think has a
working with
tough
outlets
choice.
to make that one like.
It is like art. I mean,
Plus, it's coming to PS4, which is generally what wins these kind of categories.
yeah,
I still just go Grindstone. I feel like people want Grindstone to win enough that enough people are going to push for it.
I think it's just gonna be Call of Duty.
It's
man.
caused me to spend, I think, at this
think
point, $20 on Apple Arcade.
I'll tell you the reason. In
right.
addition to Call of Duty being really amazing on mobile now, in addition to that, it's arguably some people are like it's doing better in some ways than the main PvP of the main franchise, and
Yeah.
so there's a conversation. It's really interesting now that on mobile it's gotten to that. And
I just don't
But
think
here's
the
my
people
thing.
voting are going to vote for it.
Thank you. Do you think that conversation's happening enough at IGN, GameSpot,
Yeah, I
Easy
do, actually.
Allies? Because
I do.
I think the conversation in those places, including us, has been Apple Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Where it is like, oh man, Grindstone, oh man, like Sign Our Wild Hearts, Sky, like which isn't,
I think it came like with Call of Duty coming out. I think it boosted the conversation around it, and yeah, I think absolutely.
This is one where I can
Hopefully
see,
Sky
like,
gets a good look, though. I feel like that's one, if I just arbitrarily guess, not enough people gave it time because it requires an online connection as well.
Yeah.
So for playing mobile, I don't know if they've changed that, but for playing a mobile game, it's really neat, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that win.
I could see the last four split the vote and the user base take Call of Duty Mobile. Because it was downloaded more than pretty much
There's
all
just
of these things
10%.
combined.
Oh, I see what you're saying, that they would push it
Yes.
over the edge. Yeah. Anyway. So wait, you guys chose, everybody else chose Grindstone, or what'd you choose, Zimmer?
he said Sky.
Yeah, Sky.
Sky. Two
Grindstone,
Grindstones.
One
Barrett,
Call
did
of
you have
Duty.
any?
I don't know if Grindstone's gonna win this one. I want to say it's Sayonara, but I'm not confident.
know, yeah,
I'm
no,
not confident in that.
Such a strong choice.
Yeah.
Sayonara's fine.
I
That's
feel
the
like,
thing.
yeah.
It's a fine game.
I beat it on
didn't.
my flight to London. I was
Yeah.
just like, I think it's overhyped because it's pretty and
Yeah.
sounds
Oh,
cool.
I
absolutely.
feel like the narrative around Sky was like, this is the game that's going to take you out of the mobile gaming ghetto. So I think a lot of outlets responded to that by paying attention to that game. I don't know if that's necessarily true of the rest of
Yeah.
them.
Well, it's a follow-up to a Game of the Year, so I mean, I would hope that it would, it's a conversation.
All right. Best multiplayer game.
It's a cool game. Try Sky if you haven't.
For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game, genre, or platform.
Man, this is an interesting one.
Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, Tom Clancy's The Division 2.
I think this one will be either Call of Duty or Apex.
It's interesting to me that they threw in the term massively multiplayer experiences.
Well, you want to be able to put it on MMORPG if you want to.
Well, I know, but it says it's including.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be that.
No.
I see. Okay. I withdraw.
Two Battle Royales.
What do I?
Damn, man, this was a
honestly
tough-
for me. It jumped out that Tetris 99 is gonna get it because like it's just one of the best games of all time, and it came out and not Tetris 99, but Tetris
Yes.
the format,
Yeah.
and they just nailed it. And to
Agreed.
bring it to that battle royale format, I think everybody took note. And as much again as you, I feel like people were gonna be like, ooh, but Apex,
The ping system.
Tetris 99,
Playing with your friends. You know what I mean?
I don't think a non-shooter
I'm
wins
voting
this.
Tetris 99.
Like, for any reason.
Tetris 99, I think, for a second gets a wink, and you're like, oh, maybe, and then you think it through of like,
The
yeah,
technical achievements and
when it's just like, do you understand at this point attacking, defending, and all that shit in Tetris 99? No, you didn't. And it was like we had fun,
fair.
you bounced, but you weren't playing with your friends and doing it. Whereas I think again, Apex, when that name pops in the list and you think about it, it is came out of the blue, free to play, had the ping system, had this. People were super into it.
See,
I personally would
which-
my personal vote here would be Borderlands 3 because
Yeah,
of the
totally.
level scaling and how that all worked. And I was
But
like,
that's not the thing most outlets took note of.
oh, and that's what I'm saying is I don't think Borderlands 3 has a chance in hell at it. Sadly.
Really?
Yeah.
It's weird because we're so deep in it now, Greg.
Borderlands
that-
3 got written off as it's more Borderlands, which it is true.
And I
but I
agree
think
with that.
once you're put in that bucket, it's so hard to climb out to get an award on any of these.
On the other hand, Modern Warfare, which is literally more Modern Warfare. And I've heard people singing the praise of that multiplayer as glitchy as it has been for like since release, basically. As like the
Apex.
best Call of Duty multiplayer in a while.
Yeah, it's a tough category because I feel like it's mixing co-op and multiplayer PvP, which makes it just tough, right? Tetris 99 is more PvP than it is like Borderlands being co-op is just different, but anyway, I think it's still a super strong list.
Do you know what we're not talking about? The Division 2.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the list filler. Like that was a game that did extremely well and
I think
like
it's one of
improved
the
a
things,
lot. But just,
if you played it, right, and you got into it, you enjoyed it. You had
Yeah.
fun. I love The Division 2, but like if I'm talking about the best multiplayer, I think these games had better experiences for it.
And this is where you get into the problem with ongoing games and stuff. It's such bogus then than like, why isn't Shadowkeep on there and Destiny? Like, I mean, what, like way more people I would say enjoyed the Shadowkeep campaign and played it. I like Division 2 a lot, by the way, but like it's odd to me that like just if you put Destiny 2 right there, from a gameplay perspective, it's super strong in terms of what they're doing. It's co-op, it's got PvP, all the above, but
So what are the votes? I say Apex.
I say Apex.
I'm gonna go Call of Duty.
I just think Apex, it's super strong choice, by the way. I think it's a tough game, and that's why I picked Tetris 99, I think, because I feel like it's so accessible to so many people, and people did genuinely love it.
You're
I
a crazy
respect
person,
it.
Fran, and I love you.
I respect
love it
it.
so much.
If I may have the floor for 1
Please
second,
do.
I texted the one and only Devolver Digital and said, "How the fuck do I say this game's name?" Here's you want to kick yourself in the fucking head. Here are the 3 text responses.
Great.
Greece. Technically Gree, but everyone says Greece. So it's technically Gree, but everyone, including Devolver, calls
Say
it
Greece.
Greece.
And they
So
don't
I've
say
talked
Greece,
to Nomada
they
before,
say Greece.
or Nomada or whatever. Like they say Greece.
Grease
So
is
it's
the
Greece.
word.
So
Greece
what I
is
want to
the
know, are we
word.
sure it's Greece and not Greece?
Again, how do I say this word?
about Gris?
The answer is Greece.
They spelled Greece. with an E at the
Technically
end.
Gree, but everyone says Greece, as do we.
What's the name
so
of the
it is
pilot for
Greece.
Fallen Order?
From here on out, it is Greece. Greece is the word. Joey Noel loves Greece, 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 Greece.
But it's not. They said
Untitled
officially it is
Grease
Greece.
game.
Like I
But
would say.
everybody says that. So
That
it's like
doesn't
these
make it
kids who put
okay.
Q's in their name but pronounce it with an R.
I'm gonna put it this: it means everything is okay. It means we can just say whatever. what the fuck
Exactly.
ever.
That is what popular vote means. Apparently, is that it's wrong, but we're doing it anyway.
Best narrative game for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. A Plague Tale: Innocence.
Oh, I gotta play this game.
Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, The Outer Worlds.
That's interesting. In,
Right,
Outer
right,
Worlds being
right.
there, right? Because you have multiple narrative paths, right? Which is
Yeah.
what makes it cool.
I think this is one where Life is Strange got actually screwed by the.
What happens when your
release
game
schedule.
isn't finished?
Yes.
But guess what? Because episode 5 came out after this, it's still not. It's still
Not gonna be on
nominatable
the
next
list,
year.
though. Let's be
My
honest.
gut says Death Stranding
Really?
because of its focus on narrative and what people think of that game.
People really like that story. I disagree a lot, but
I think
They
A
really
Plague
like that
Tale
story.
is like people that have played it seem to love the story. I don't think it was played by enough
People played it. Yeah.
Control, I think, is another one that like a lot of people played it and they enjoy it. So
I like it.
For me, it's between Death Stranding and Control.
Yeah.
So I don't think Control's plot is that interesting. I think Control's periphery is very interesting. Of like I could spend an entire game just reading stuff in dead letters of people
Yeah, the
like
lore. Yeah. That
writing to
counts.
that bureau about, hey, I found this weird switch in my house. What do I do with it?
Death Stranding. That's my
I think Death Stranding's gonna be the choice. Well, no, hold on. I think Outer Worlds is new enough and enough people like that narrative that they were like, okay, yeah, we'll go with this. So I'll go with Outer Worlds.
I'm going with Outer Worlds as well. I think it's a toss-up. I really do. Plague's Tale is, after Life is Strange, is the game I'm playing next. And then I'm with you that I think the nut of Control goes into a place I'm like, oh, okay. But like everything around it, yeah, and the characters and even Jesse herself, I like.
Yeah.
Right? I like all these pieces. Death Stranding, again, I think is just too polarizing in where it falls. Disco Elysium, I don't think enough people played, and I think Outer Worlds, again, is this RPG that people want to love.
Right.
Fran? Right now, Death Stranding is Tim's choice. Me and Imran are on the Outer Worlds train. Toot
Doesn't
toot.
sway me a bit, Greg. You try.
I'm recapping and giving you more time to think.
Thank you. I actually am going to pick the Outer Worlds on this one.
Look at that, on the winning team for once.
You and Imran picked that? Is that
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Ongoing game. Awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
I think this one is for sure Fortnite.
And here, ladies and gentlemen, is where Fortnite gets it, without a problem.
Like, it is one of the biggest
Fortnite-
publishers in the world behind that game, only making new ongoing content.
Fucking reinventing itself
Fortnite
every
won
6 months.
Last year,
If that
right?
even more.
For this category, I think.
I'll check for you.
I feel like you did. Not that it can't win multiple years
And
in a row.
also,
by
I
the
guarantee you
very
that nobody
nature of
remembers what
the
won last year.
the name. But because of the Activision splits and everything, I do feel that Destiny 2...
Fortnite won best ongoing game last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Destiny 2 has a very strong chance, but it's just not as nearly as popular as something like Fortnite. It's hard to... Actually, you know what? I'm going to mix things up, and because of all the reasons, and observing a lot of my friends who play this game and what you guys are saying, Final Fantasy 14, I think, has a very strong chance.
Is that who you're picking?
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
I don't know what chances. I want picks.
So but because of that, I'm picking Final Fantasy 14.
I'm staying with Fortnite.
Fortnite. Very impressed with Yelp right now because I just got a Yelp notification that Greg, we found a new chicken wing spot. Really? Hell yeah! All right, let's fucking go. Tell me about the Foghorn Tap Room.
I went to one dumpling place,
have a
so it
little,
tells me every time a new dumpling place opens. I live in the Richmond.
Foghorn
There's a new
Tap?
dumpling place every week.
Oh my God.
Is it good?
R.I.P. No, it's taking the place of this place called Dragon Lounge that I've told many stories
I've been-
about.
Dragon
on
Lounge is good.
No, I don't think it's the same Dragon Lounge that you're
Oh, and I'm
thinking
thinking
of.
Dragon Bow.
Dragon Lounge is the saddest bar you will ever go
Okay.
to, and it is now gone forever. You might find frequenter James Burke there, or at least you used to. Best performance awarded to an individual for voiceover. For voiceover acting. I read it as voice overacting.
Their voice is good.
For voiceover
Voice
acting,
over
You have
the
a great
actual
voice, you
act.
suck
motion
at acting.
and /
Your
or
voice
performance
sounds great,
capture.
but your performance sucked.
We have Ashley Birch
Dang.
as the character from The Outer Worlds, Courtney Hope as the character from Control, Laura Bailey as the character from Gears 5, Mads Mikkelsen as the character from Death Stranding, Matthew Peretta as the character in Control, and Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges.
Can I just say I'm so bummed that Norman Reedus is so popular, and I feel like this is one that you do. The category's already crowded. You got two major celebrities as well as Mads Mikkelsen, and like Troy not making it.
Yeah.
honestly,
That's what I
like
think is I think-
objectively, his character is so cool. He does
Troy
such a good job.
Troy's awesome in
He does
Death
such a
Stranding.
good
Granted,
job.
he's friend of the show, yada yada. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Norman Reedus.
No,
I think
or
he-
Mads.
Yo,
Awesome.
Mads, I think is.
I would choose
fucking
Mads
is on
over
another
Norman
level,
in that
too.
game,
Yeah, that's what I'm
personally.
saying. If I would say that Norman shouldn't have got the nod, Troy should have. For
I would have put Tom Earl Jenkins above either of them.
also true.
Yeah.
And
he
he
did
did
great too.
unbelievable.
Real quick, guys. Foghorn Tap Room. They're
Let's go.
It's
Let's just
Foghorn
go.
Tap Chicken and wings. It's
That's
just
it?
beer, chicken, and wings. Well, I mean, that's what they're promoting, though.
Is
We're
it on
fucking-
Terabell?
You know what?
No, it's
This is the game of the year.
Foghorn
It's
Chicken Wing
Foghorn
playlist.
Tap Room.
It is on Balboa and 6th.
Can we do the
okay.
Game of the Year rap party?
Oh, that's
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
These wings look fucking.
This one's fucking hard. I don't
No,
know.
it's not hard. It's gonna be one of the two celebrities.
yeah. I'm gonna choose
I don't
Mads
know.
Mikkelsen
I don't know, man.
because
The industry doesn't want that.
The industry fucking loves that.
That's
What are you
true, but we
talking
don't
about?
get it
No,
like
not
this.
the people voting, though, I don't think. Sure, they have the LA Times and stuff, and that really kind of screws it over. But, like, the IGNs and GameSpots of the world, they're not voting for Norman
They-
Reedus. They're voting for Ashley Birch.
Normally, Tim, but I would count it. When do we get it like this? Meaning, it's not just some like throwaway, like a few lines. Like, it's a ton. I don't know. It's an integral, unique character. I'm trying to remember last year. What was an example of a major celeb? I'm sure there is one, but I can't think
Like
of it.
every Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like Kratos was like The Rock. So
No, he was an
He was
actor.
on Battlestar Galactica.
I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, and that's where the category ends up too, is official franchise stuff that they throw in that somebody did their actual lines in a. So I think because of it, Mads just knocked it out of the park. He didn't.
I think so what you're saying, this isn't just
He
a
doesn't
cameo.
feel
I
like
thought
a big-
Mads fucking was awesome in
He
this.
doesn't
was-
feel like he just got a big check, stepped in for. This seemed very genuine. His performance is awesome. And again, it's not a personal choice. I think it's going to resonate with people having seen all the work and trailers that Mads is going to get it. That's
I could see people going for Matthew Peretta. I don't know that they actually would in the long run, especially compared to two big celebrity actors. Like, he was honestly the driving force of acting in that game, and memed quite a bit. Like, I know outlets were talking about him as because they love Alan Wake too. I don't know. I don't. I'm saying
think
this. I
his
don't feel like I'm not
actual
committed to it. But
acting performance.
For me
is amazing, but-
personally, and I don't. And these
Give
are
me
my
Mads.
personal preferences, but I think that also go through the industry. I think it's between Ashley and Mads. And I think that Mads will win because more people saw that performance. I think as somebody who, again, didn't love The Outer Worlds, I had fun with it enough, but whatever. Ashley was so far and away running circles around every other voice actor in that game, where I did love her character and I did run all her side missions. And then when I met other people, I was like, I don't care.
That's right. So I didn't play it yet. I was going to say Laura Bailey, I remember hearing some of in trailers.
But it's the same thing we're talking about. It's just nobody talks about Gears.
and also it's the same Laura Bailey voice that you hear all the time, which
It's always good.
it's always good. It just
So, but
It's-
that's
Mads and Norman Reedus have that new quality because they're celebrities, and they're I know, Tim, you don't think that game journalists think that way, but a lot of them do. Oh, we have celebrities coming down to our level. now.
Well, hopefully,
Yeah,
actually,
it's so
I don't know.
amazing.
I mean, with that, I still think I'm right now between Mads or Courtney Hope, just because she looks so much like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She,
like
I think
character.
she did
Capture,
a great job in that.
And-
Like, she played a very stoic character well. I don't think Norman Reedus actually did a great job
mean,
in Death
all these-
Stranding, personally.
He did a great job
do.
of just being
I
Norman
do.
Reedus. though.
Yeah, that's just
Because
who
like
he is.
almost
man.
every dialogue interaction with just him being like, yeah,
Lou.
He's got some impactful lines that come out eventually.
Sam, the man.
Bridges.
Hello.
So many bridges.
I'm Sam.
Yeah.
That's his big line.
Let's see.
Sam
yeah.
Bridges winning
What's
for
the
Sam.
votes? What's everyone's vote?
I'm gonna go Mads.
I'm going Mads.
Mads. I wish that I got a chance to hear.
It's not actually pronounced Mads, right? It's like
personally.
Maz.
Oh, good point. Let's not get. I don't know.
Everybody calls him Mads.
Yeah, everyone calls him Mads. I think like his actual name is supposed to be pronounced Maz.
You think it'd be Mods?
It's like your name. You just accept whatever.
Wouldn't it be-
Yeah,
whatever-
pretty much.
You're just like,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
I'm going Courtney Hope, baby.
Good choice. Honestly, all these performers are amazing choices.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. It's a nice problem to have.
Next up, we got role-playing game. For the best game designed with rich player
Fucking
character
love this.
customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy XIV, Kingdom Hearts 3,
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World, Iceborne, or The Outer Worlds.
This is such a weird. Like this felt like I don't know. Just put whatever you want on there for that list.
Outer Worlds.
It's gonna be Outer Worlds. Like
I was torn between Monster Hunter and Outer Worlds. at
Monster
first.
Hunter's not.
I don't think so. Well, that's true. It is just Iceborne this year. It's
But
weird
also,
because
no, I
it's
mean
like
it's not
an
an RPG.
ongoing-
It's like
That's
don't-
so yeah. RPG category is always tough because I would argue Red Dead is an RPG.
how did that get in above Fire Emblem for this?
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. Where is Fire
They got
Emblem on this
strategy.
list? Oh, they're
Which
in
is not.
strategy. The
Anyway.
RPG's it's a fluid one.
It's
But
gonna be
I-
Outer Worlds.
I'd pick
You're right.
Outer Worlds. Yeah.
I'm saying Outer Worlds. Tim?
Oh, yeah. Outer
I'm
Worlds.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still running a lot of stuff in this Foghorn issue.
Got
all
it.
right?
Score and
Foghorn
music.
Leghorn.
For outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, Sayonara Wild Hearts. I think this is...
Man, Death Stranding's so strong.
I
in
feel like
all
because of
those.
the license stuff and people vibing with it so much, I think it's a
But
The fact that
definite
Chiverches
contender.
is playing there.
its score is really good too.
I'm saying
It's just great.
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah.
I think as a game that is built around being the album, I think the music's great. I think Death Stranding actually gets knocked for having so much licensed music in it, where it's just like, all right, cool.
I mean,
But-
but, like sometimes the oddball, like Nier Automata won in 2017.
Sure.
Granted, it did have the best soundtrack for sure, but that would not be the one I.
See,
expect
you're not
people to choose.
supposed to knock it for that reason. It's saying inclusive of all those things.
It
Yeah,
will be
Kingdom
Death
Hearts 3
Stranding.
score was fantastic, but I feel it's also derivative of what we've heard a million
It's
times.
too close to the
Yeah.
previous works.
I mean,
So-
one of those is just
It's
you
all
got a
like
friend in
themes
me.
you've heard redone.
played over and
almost.
over and over.
And,
Well,
the,
it's-
and the entirety of Let It Go.
I mean,
Yes.
Tim, is it a little like Smash Brothers where you're like, are you kidding me?
Why
Why
is
is that
Smash
not
Brothers
on
on this
here?
list?
Yeah, why is it not on here?
Oh.
Is it because it's
We just don't think
derivative
of it that
its-
way.
which is a problem. I
Why
think.
is Fire Emblem on
Like,
this list?
frankly, I think Smash should be on here, but
I mean, Smash is the best soundtrack of all time. Just hard stop because it's just the
unbelievable.
greatest hits of
yeah,
every
but
franchise.
orchestrated,
Yeah,
and it's just unreal.
I don't think
I-
enough people play Cadence to vote for that anyway.
yeah. I'm going Death Stranding.
Death
I
Stranding's
think
maybe the
Death Stranding,
choice.
for its use of licensed, it was in a way you could argue it feels like it overdoes it sometimes, but it's pretty bold with it.
I think everyone played
And-
at least enough of Death
Yes,
Stranding
and that's
to
what
have a
stuck out.
moment that hit them with music.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's
it was the most talked about game of this list, so it's
So.
going to be the winner.
it'd be cool. if
Tim, Fran,
Cadence
and
did.
Imran are saying Death Stranding?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Greg?
I said Sayonara Wild Hearts. I believe.
Sayonara,
I
sucker.
believe.
Sports /
Sayonara,
racing
sucker.
game. For the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game, we got my boy Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled,
There it is,
Dirt
Tim.
Rally 2, Football Pro Evolution Soccer 2020, F1 2019, or FIFA 20.
I mean, Tim, why'd you read the rest of the names on the list? I feel like you said Crash. What
I
more
feel
did-
like this slide of like
Tim's favorite
image is
game
just
of all
like
time.
a cartoon character becomes slowly into a human.
Crash Team Racing, one of my favorite games of all time. This remake, freaking fantastic. Had so many issues, so many DLC problems and like microtransaction stuff. They fixed a ton of it. Too little, too late. Too much shit going on with that game. I think that like also put it up against football, always a difficult thing.
Yeah.
People see the football, they're gonna want to vote for the football.
I think
yeah.
every outlet's going to leave this to their sports guy, so I have no idea enough about not enough
Yeah,
of an
should
idea
we
about the rest
vote
of the
on this
games.
category? Like, I can throw a dart.
Again,
prediction.
this isn't us
It's not
voting. This
voting.
is us predicting.
No, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
but
I
we're-
don't know. Honestly.
That's why it's fun. Get off the
I'm just-
clothes. Get on the go. Boo!
I'm just saying, I feel like there's a lot of like weird hate towards FIFA 20 this year. So why put that on here and not fucking MLB the Show
They couldn't think of anything.
20
why
because
Smash
like
Brothers
that was
not
an
in-
actual
Honestly,
really
I mean,
fucking amazing.
You want to know
sports
why?
game
I'll
this
tell you
year.
exactly why. International. The
that's
rules
true.
are you have to play 3. You have to have 3 nominations to nominate, right? So if as an outlet,
Yeah.
And so you get to these things like we didn't nominate because we just
didn't?
No, we didn't have 3 sports games that we all played, and so it was like that thing of like, okay, we'll pass over, and so I think everybody passes it over, but the soccer from the international teams, they're playing everything.
Is
They're
the
playing
middle one a
makes sense.
typo?
What?
eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer? You think it's Football Pro?
It is, I believe it's
Pro
Football?
Evolution Soccer?
A football?
it is a typo.
What I have here is no, that's lowercase e. eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer.
European football?
Oh, is this mobile?
Who the fuck knows?
or
I don't know.
something?
Electronic football.
See, this is why we should
Electronic.
Whatever. If we're just guessing to the best of our ability, having
Yeah,
not,
that is exactly what you're doing.
Anything except Crash. Super familiar with the rest of the franchises, though. I don't know how much people hate FIFA this year. Do we know? Like, are people mad about the cards? Because a lot of people are playing it.
I feel like a lot of people were mad about
anyway.
it this year.
People are talking. A lot of people are saying.
I still think FIFA's going to get it, though. It's just a monster.
I got nothing. I'm not gonna be.
I'll say FIFA 2. Fran makes a compelling
Why
argument.
the fuck not?
Just call Craig Barrett and get him on the phone.
I mean,
Oh,
here's the
my.
thing. This one's such a weird. I'm just gonna go Crash.
It could easily
Why the
happen.
fuck not?
You really think it's going to win? You're just
No,
doing
but
it to
like,
beat
also,
him right now.
to be honest, I'm not educated enough to even make an educated guess on
Yeah.
Pez or FIFA. If that even is Pez, it is
That's
Pez.
Pez, yes.
It
I don't
is,
know.
yeah.
What's bigger? Who the hell knows? Not me.
FIFA
Not
FIFA
me,
is
Greg.
bigger from a financial.
FIFA's bigger, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, this is the best we can do. Looking forward to seeing the comments on this one, actually. How many kind of funny sports fans do we have? Racing fans.
Strategy
Get it
game. Best game
Shouldn't there have been
focused
a
on
Forza on
real
there?
time or turn-based strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform.
Shove it up your ass. It's Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Age
mean,
of Wonders, Planetfall,
honestly, it is probably.
Anno 1800, Fire Emblem
Oh.
3 Houses, Total War 3 Kingdoms, Tropico 6, War Groove. Yeah, Fire Emblem.
It's Fire Emblem. Like, this is a weird category to begin with, and has more
Again,
nominations than
have
most of the
not-
categories, which should have tipped someone off that something is wrong.
Not an expert enough at all these. So
But
which
it's-
one have you heard
But
of?
if I have to choose, and also knowing it's a freaking unbelievable game, and was probably in the Game of the Year conversation for many, Fire Emblem. You know?
Yeah, it's
I
without a
didn't hear that
doubt
about
Fire
these other
Emblem.
games.
Yes.
I think in number 2, if we saw like the ranking of how these worked out, I think Wargroove would probably be number 2 though.
Really?
A lot of people loved that when it came
Yeah.
out.
But it's
know
an
anything
advanced
about
wars style game, which is a
Wargroove
Fire
is
Emblem
as
style
well.
game.
So Fire Emblem's going to win.
Yeah.
The original makers of Advanced Wars probably do it better.
Next up, VR/AR game for the best
Ah.
game experience playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. Asgard's Wrath, Blood and Truth, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, Trover Saves the Universe.
Beat
Dang.
Saber.
Oh, yeah. Asgard's
Beat
Wrath finally came out. That's
Saber.
right.
Not a chance in hell anything else.
Yeah, there's
Great lineup of games there, though. Blood and Truth is awesome.
Wait, did Beat Saber come out this year?
December.
It's
Yeah.
another, yeah, exactly. The
Oh,
PlayStation
it came out
VR version came out in December.
no. I think it's all like the actual VR, like Oculus Quest, all that stuff.
Quest as well.
Like
Yeah.
it officially came out in
Good point.
within this.
So it's
timeframe.
going to win. Then.
Yes.
We all
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
Let's move on.
Beat Saber is the VR
that's
game.
it.
So,
We
like,
did it, ladies and
that's that,
gentlemen.
like,
Hey!
it's the Wii Sports of like the game type.
Fantastic.
And I'm still saying Hungry Box for esports player of the year.
There we go.
get some
My
wings.
boy Hungry Box.
Yeah, we going to that Foghorn Tap Room, baby.
We need a postmark.
Before we end the show, quickly, I do want to have a small discussion about predictions of what's going to be shown or not shown, whatever. Jeff did an AMA today. We have a bunch of brand new games being announced at the show. I think there are around 10 new games, projects being revealed, if you want to count the things that no one has heard about. As always, the internet has a lot of really bad information out there about what you think is at the show, but it sure is fun to read. One of the announcements was previously confirmed to be the debut title from developer Wolfeye Studios, which was established by former Arcane Studios directors. Keeley also
eat fresh.
confirmed there are no plans, and there never were, to do anything with Resident Evil 3 at the show. A lot of these leaks are completely wrong. Nothing about our show has leaked as of this writing. Asked if there are any reveals that will surprise the hell out of everyone watching, or any trailers for games people have been waiting forever for, Keeley replied, "Dangerous questions. I'm not sure. Everyone reacts differently to things. We're just trying to make the best show we can based on the content available to us."
That doesn't sound like a banger answer, but you know,
I mean,
it's
so
gonna
it
be
could-
cryptic.
he likes the
You don't want
hype,
to spoil
man.
your show.
I
yeah.
broke a
Like, if he
laptop
says
last
it's gonna
year.
be yeah, and also you can't be in the position to be like it's going to blow your mind, and then
Yeah,
you
you don't-
see it,
you
or they
shouldn't do
pull the
that.
trailer last minute, which happens too. So
Yeah.
So going into that,
I'm gonna
do
look
any
at
of
you.
us have? So this is a list
Oh.
of what was announced last year. So we got Far Cry New Dawn, we got Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled officially like being announced. Journey to the Savage Planet, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Black Order, that's where that made the debut. We got Joker and Smash Brothers. We got Stranger Things 3, the game, like going on and on. Mortal Kombat 11. There you go.
I totally didn't put any homework into this, so I'm unprepared. But off the top of my head, I'm gonna actually say we're gonna get maybe, why not, a little Elden Ring teaser.
It's been a while.
Because
Dark Souls
like
2 was
we had
officially
E3.
revealed there.
Yeah, and we had E3, but that's a good place to just
It
do a
is.
little tease just to keep you hooked.
And we got the tease for Sekiro at Game Awards.
Did we?
That was 2 years ago. Was it 2? No, it was it was
Yeah, 2.
2017. Because everyone thought it was Bloodborne.
Yep.
So
I
here's the
wouldn't
thing.
expect a lot
Barrett,
on it.
I'm
feel
just
like
gonna
it's
drop
teaser.
this on you real quick. Do you think it's happening?
No.
No Batman.
What
either.
is he, the
Yeah,
expert?
So
Oh,
the argument that people keep bringing up to me, they have a history together announcing Batman games at the Game Awards. None of the 4 Batman Arkham games that have been out have ever been announced at the Game Awards. You fucking weird.
Did they not do the Joker trailer where he coughed there?
That was E3.
That was E3.
Gotcha.
And that wasn't even an announcement. They always officially announce games randomly, not like very separate from events. Like big trailers and stuff, they will bring to things, but that's
Yeah.
after they announce it. I think they want to keep that to themselves so they have the headline for the day, you know?
Yeah.
Do I think that teaser fucking whatever they did 2 months ago was a very, very cruel joke? Absolutely. And I'm tired of that kind of shit. But I don't think it's I don't think this is the year. I think we get it. I think we get an official announcement sometime early next year from 3. I think 3 out of the 4 games are like they get announced earlier in the year because like people are like, oh, Arkham Origins got announced at Game Awards, but no, Arkham Origins I think got announced in like April of the year that it came out, so that was like 2014, 2013, I think.
What do you think, Greg?
For Batman? It's tough, yeah, because we've been burned so many fucking times.
Yeah.
I do think, yeah, the Montreal tweet and the logos popping up were weird, but I don't think they're out of place. I think it has a great shot at happening. I joked around with Barrett on the show, the Games Daily show today, where we discussed all this. Right? I think he's going to be on a roller coaster because I think what'll happen at one point is it's going to go dark. It'll be the WB Games logo. He'll get all freaked out for Batman, but then it'll be that Harry Potter RPG.
But then,
Then Barrett would also be excited. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no,
his dick will get tired from like going up
Andy's
and
laptop will get fucked up again this year.
Yeah.
I think it's the same argument though that with Harry Potter's such a huge franchise and IP. Why would you do it there when you could do it anywhere? But I think right now, if I was saying it, I think Harry Potter I could see happening anywhere on its own, being its own thing. I think doing Batman at Game Awards makes sense because it is WB Montreal, so it's not Rocksteady. But I think that if you did it there with a smart audience and they're just excited for more Batman, they understand what's happening there, maybe that could go there. I do think, you brought up a good one, right? The thing Jeff said, right, was games/projects, 10 games/projects getting announced. I think this is where they announce the next Marvel Ultimate Alliance DLC.
Mm-hmm.
They show that for the first time, right? They show the Fantastic Four, or the X-Men, right? That's what we're still waiting for, yeah. Show that and put a date on that. And they've also been super quiet for a while since they put out the Halloween stuff, right? Or the Marvel Knight stuff.
Yeah.
I could see them dropping that day and date, too, of like, and it's available now kind of shit.
So
Speaking of
here's
DLC.
I was gonna say, here's the thing to keep in mind when deciding predictions is it costs most companies money to advertise on the Game Awards. Like a not insignificant amount of money.
Yeah, Warframe's going to do something again. They're there every time talking about it. Fortnite will do something again.
Yeah.
So like I think big companies, Keighley gets like waives whatever fees, but for like if there's a Last of Us, because Last of Us 1 was released or shown for the first time at the Game Awards, like for like Nintendo or something like that, they can probably get it for free. But if you're thinking like a smaller company, I don't know how WB falls. I'm pretty sure WB gets in for free, whatever. But like, let's say maybe Capcom, they're probably not going to get a free advertisement here.
Unless it was RE3.
Yeah, I assume it's spaces to fill. Like, in other words, if he puts a bunch of blockbuster new exclusives and fills the time, and in other words, runs out of time for ad space, then he won't take the money. But otherwise, there's usually
So
probably.
like if you have a new character trailer for a for a fighting game, Like they're not going to show that
Unless
without-
it's Mortal Kombat.
I never realized that
maybe.
space because they have ad space as well, but I didn't realize that trailers. You're saying he does.
You
Is
pay
that
a-
documented, like for sure? Like, this is a
I've
fact?
talked to enough people about it that they're like,
I mean, some of it-
they're going to charge. They wanted to charge this.
Yeah,
much.
like I said, I don't think it's you can just pay and get on the show, but if there's a slot open,
Oh, I
then
definitely think you can.
Well, I don't know.
Depends on who
Have
pays
you
the
like
most.
how often do you watch these things?
In other words,
I watch them every year. You
my-
can
The Stick
definitely pay to
Hydrobot
play.
wants to argue
My
differently.
view is there's
He
enough.
had to pay for his ticket.
There's enough ad space for 45-second trailers that you almost always can find that. So yeah, but meaning if you're just some, I don't know. I just feel like they've done a good job of squeezing the show down more than it has been too long in the past. So I feel like at some point you run out of time on stuff. They're already cramming a lot in there. But anyway.
Imran,
Yeah.
I got 2 questions for you.
let's
Three.
bring
I
up
got
more.
3 questions for you.
I
here.
can guess what
Oh,
one
God,
of them
4
is.
now.
Yeah, you can guess what I
5.
think all of them are. They're all Nintendo related. Let's start at the big one, Breath of the Wild 2.
I think that's very much on the table.
Yeah,
because Breath
me
of the
too.
Wild 1, the very first like real footage we saw of that game, when it was like a weird off-screen thing, was at Game Awards. So clearly Nintendo likes Keighley. They like to do him these like favors, and they consider an audience that works for this sort of thing. I could see it.
I could see it too.
I think they wait until E3 again to show it.
That is the other option for Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
I have a thing I think is more likely than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I was
2.
gonna say I think it's too close to. They did a pretty significant tease. You know, some of us got that prediction right. But yeah, they already did that significant tease. I think they're coming back so soon. It's just too soon.
See, the one thing that gives
There's
me
no
hope,
reason.
I think the game's sooner than we think.
Oh,
I don't
I
think
like
think
a May,
that we announce
like
it
a,
like
you know
a
what I
next
mean,
year.
an anniversary.
I don't
type.
think it's out.
We
right
don't
now.
know Nintendo's
3-year
2020 right
release.
now, and I think that's for a reason.
Yeah, we didn't know almost every 2019 game coming into 2019, so
Not a bad
2020 is
theory.
still an open blank slate.
So
Totally
let's just get
disagree.
to it. Smash Brothers,
I think they
The
push it.
new.
the final DLC.
I think they wait till January to reveal that.
You don't think
it's
they have it
Nintendo
here?
Direct.
Here's my guess for what Nintendo has here, because they always have something. Mm-hmm. I think Bayonetta 3, this is the reveal time.
Well, the second reveal, because the first reveal was Game
The
Awards.
reveal of gameplay footage. An actual trailer of that game.
Yeah, I see that.
I think this is the audience I think fits with it best. Like, this is a bunch of, honestly, like, it's the Game Awards. It's going to be a bunch of mature games that are being shown.
Mm-hmm.
So why not show the most mature Switch game they've got?
Yeah, I buy that. But that's also, I feel like, one of those predictions I can make. That and Metroid Prime Trilogy. It's going to
Now-
be fucking announced. You can say that every single time. It's going to happen eventually.
I think
I feel like
2020
they
is the
need-
year for that game.
Yeah, I just feel like they need the Bayonetta. I could
Don't
see
write about
the
that.
rest. I'm like they need for their own Nintendo Directs. I think, like I don't know how much they have, but I feel like they got to save some for early next year.
Yeah, the Smash DLC, I think, is pretty likely.
That maybe, yeah, that or Bayonetta makes sense to me.
It's the final one. There was the Joker reveal, and just they're running out of time to announce the final Smash character.
February, so they put Terry out in like a month.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're running out of time, so that means they're either going to do it at Game Awards or we're getting a direct in January, which isn't Nintendo's norm recently. It used to be, but now it's kind of more pushing towards the February.
I think you want to show that one, and you want to reveal pre-order for Season Pass 2 are out at the same time. So it means you push that back a little bit until you're ready to show off whoever Season 2's first character is.
Interesting. Now let me just paint you guys a tale right
Finally.
here. Okay.
Paint me a tale, sir.
You want some Tim Gettys get hype moments?
I do.
It's
Get hype.
It's a twofer, ladies
Oh,
and
wow.
gentlemen. It's a
Ooh.
twofer. It finally fucking happens. They're like, fuck it. New Crash Bandicoot game.
Okay.
Okay? Okay? And
Yeah, what's the other?
he's the 5th Smash Brothers.
Yeah, right.
I could believe half
No
of that.
way.
See, here's my thing. I would have never believed it before. Banjo changed the goddamn game,
He
man.
did. He did.
I think they've more or less said they're going to make a new Crash game. I think Game Awards is actually a really good place to show that.
I do too.
Is it the year of Crash again? Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
man. It's the fucking life. Crash.
Save the coot.
Get used to it.
Do you think Sony is going to bother with anything this time?
I feel like they're too close to
Sony?
Their
Yeah,
next-
it's too close to their next reveal.
Yeah.
Although, if they do a PlayStation 5 reveal, now they got their state. What is it called again?
State of play.
It is State of Play.
Yeah.
State of the Game is the division thing, and it confuses me every
Yeah,
time.
that's true.
Anyway, they need stuff for that. So are they, again, saving big guns for that? They run into a similar problem now as Nintendo. I just feel like they snubbed E3. They're probably going to snub the Game Awards. That's where I was
Yeah,
going.
I
just don't see anything really from them.
Question Mike had today on games that I thought was pertinent. What do you think you hear any games there that are like, and it's announced for PlayStation 5 and Scarlet?
I think it'll
announced the
say
Game
like in
Awards?
future consoles.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't think they'll bring that word up unless it's a Microsoft event. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Right.
Nintendo going to do something. They always do.
They always do something.
Even if it's just
Yeah.
Cranky Kong. They always do something.
they're
at the
they're
Game
friends
Awards.
with Keighley. They like bringing stuff to those like.
What if
award
they
shows.
make Super Reggie RPG? Let me find out.
Just in
He's
honor.
coming back. And
He's coming back in
an
video
animated
game form.
character, and it's like a Mario RPG.
You guys
but you're
wanted
Reggie.
him. Here he is.
He's the 5th Smash character.
Any final just predictions or dreams? Decade of Dreams shit? Not Dreams the game.
Actually,
Dreams,
maybe
I
there
know
will be
it'll-
Dreams. Like, why not show the release date for Dreams the game there?
They're going to do it on the awards, guaranteed. The Impies.
Because they.
I don't know if you follow.
Oh right, those awards.
Yeah, sorry. No, I know it wasn't a joke. It was confusing. But January 26th, they're doing it. I think they do the awards for all the stuff that's really cool idea and a great way to promote Dreams. And at the end, or somewhere in the middle, they
'Cause-
say
yeah.
that it's coming February 14th, which was leaked a while
Because
ago.
early access ends.
The
soon.
7th, yeah. 2 days.
Here,
Race-
one prediction, not an announcement though. I think Keanu Reeves presents the Best Actor of the Year award.
Wow,
Yeah, I can see that.
that'd be awesome.
The best voice actor, you're saying?
I'm going to do you one better. 5th Smash Brothers character. Keanu Reeves.
That would be
Just
amazing.
all his alt costumes are his very like the Matrix
fucking love it.
costume,
So
the John Wick
cool.
costume.
I have so many dreams about what I'd want to be there without any care, in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Metroid, but ain't gonna happen.
It might. I think
won't.
Breath of the Wild 2 is more likely.
Right.
Metroid has an announced game, which is the question of where they show it. Like,
Oh yeah, but
They
it's not
saved
gonna
that
be
for
there.
an E3.
I mean, I would love a Metroid Prime 4 teaser.
know,
It
man.
ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny Games cast. Thank you very much for joining us for this very long episode where we predicted everything and we defined many, many other things.
Changed history
We did.
by guessing.
We did.
That's how it works. The
We'll see what
butterfly
happens
It's a
next
Monty Hall
week.
problem.
We'll see who was the most correct and we'll see who was the most incorrect. I have my predictions on who that might be. And it starts with an F and ends with a Ran.
You suck, Fran.
Wow, dude. We'll see
We're
about
doing a
that.
watch along for the Game Awards.
We
right?
are definitely doing a watch along for the Game Awards
I'll be here for that.
on what's the date?
12?
December 12th.
Thursday. Next Thursday. Yeah, very excited. I'll be very careful with my liquids. Hopefully, will not break another laptop. But no promises, baby. No
Oh, right.
promises.
I remember.
Yes. Until next week. I love you.